1916, then it's definitely something that could have been right around there. Because Benjamin Hornigold started going after people in 1792. But hey, man, pirate treasure is always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So we did scope out the pirate treasure location, and it seems to be somewhere in Philly. There's the GPS coordinates and such for you. Like I said, I'll make sure that I give you a copy of this document so you can go here. But in the books of it, it talks about it being between Spruce and Pine Street, somewhere by between 2nd and 3rd Street. So it's a little weird. Oh, sorry guys. Just the wrong button. Anyways, so that's kind of where we're at with this one, but it looks like we might have some people in Pennsylvania wanting to go do some investigating. Next, Cryptos Journal also gave us a message that seems to be from Z on 4chan. It says right here, it was a talk to a post, this post right here that says, the owl is in his leafy temple, the sun sets on the house, and the moon sits on the Saturn's throne. In conjunction with 23 and 5, there are 22 and 66 races of extraterrestrial in Terran locality. There are an infinite, unending sky. There are 22 whom are 3. I mean, it just seems to be a really weird thing. I think it's got something to do with the SVD, actually. But, like this post right here was something that was a reply from somebody who was just tagging as Z's always been done, and it says Fauna and Flora merge with the Nibiru. I wish you the best, Anon. So it's just like, I'm not sure why, and I don't know why white people like Brian Gumbo so much either. But I thought that was interesting. I should probably say something about it.
Say white people?
We know that we got
or why people?
Elsa, or 628 was the Elsa puzzle.
What the fuck?
And once that was completed, we know that we got a puzzle off of that one. But here's the rest of the 7 timers that are currently available for us. The next one being 714, followed by 821, and then 923, then 1010, 1111, and 1221. So we got a lot of different dates that are synonymous with stuff, but I think right now our biggest dates are going to be 714, and then the 821, and then, whoa, we got that. What is that, Space Pepe? Yeah, fire in the sky. Or is that a space fleet on its way to, help you and your tribe? Or, are we getting into a weird place? I don't know.
Come on.
That was that there. But the reason that we bring up this image is because this is that image that was removed from Google Sky View. Like they cut it out of the they cut it out of Google Sky. It was the only thing that they've cut out of the Google Skies if you go try to look at it. And NASA still gives us the ability to check it out. Right here, here's a bunch of different pictures from the internet's virtual telescope. And yeah, it does look a little spooks. There's the one that we looked right there. But it looks like, a really bright thing with like a smile. And a lot of people have attributed it to a lot of funny things. I just thought it was interesting because that particular thing is going to be in the sky very soon, and it kind of reminds me of Revelation. It says, the woman and the dragon, a great sign appeared in the heavens, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then
turn into Pango off.
Sign that appeared in the heavens, an enormous dragon with
you can only take so much of this stuff.
Wait, what's he talking about?
Crowns on its head.
Hang on.
The tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky.
What do you think this means?
I don't even.
The dragon stood in front
like,
of the woman who was about to give birth,
I don't want to say anything too negative, but
she gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter.
To me, it just doesn't seem legitimate.
To God and to his
I'm seeing them misspell words that are so easy. Like just a second ago, they had the word foretold, and they spelled it like F-O-R space T-O-L-D. I'm like, dude, come on.
Huh.
Ooh, pretty interesting, huh? You know,
And
it's
he's,
like,
you know, relating all this stuff to 3301, and none of this is 3301. Now he's talking it's about something that's supposedly in space coming at us that we're going to see in the sky, and he's relating it to,
you know, when we started this off on June 1st, it kind of did give us a little biblical stuff.
what is
It
the
said
Bible
tribulation
stuff,
offenses, 7 signs
the
and
end of
wonders
times and all this.
approaching.
It's like, dude,
Sky, water, or sky, earth, and water.
it's just a lot of talking and not a lot of actual
blind fire, wolves,
looking into
birds, land,
things.
ravenous and unrepentant.
Yeah.
The triangle burns black, the
Like,
mind cannot reign.
I like looking into stuff and finding out the real truth of it, you know? Otherwise, it just gets on my nerves, man. I'm like, dude, I want to get to the point. When do we get to the point? It's like watching a 5-hour talk, and then by the end of it, he never told you what he said he was going to tell you.
You know, different locations all the world where people are looking for information.
That's the way I feel watching this stuff.
Ancient letters. Yeah, you know, they keep talking about fires.
I restarted my stream up.
My
computer was getting hammered. Seems okay for now.
I think it's still fun to look at this stuff. It's fun. They're at least puzzles, you know?
Yeah, and that's fine, but it's like, look, if you're going to... Don't create a puzzle and call it 3301 if it's not. Don't try to piggyback on someone else's fame.
Yeah, but this is an anonymous thing anyway, so... That's what you get. I mean...
That's the thing, is that there's anonymous, and then there's, like... Smart anonymous.
The craziest thing, a bunch of
you know,
people
like they really are anonymous. Like nobody's really gonna out Cicada, but people have outed the people doing the fake Cicada puzzles because they're not as good. Like they're
you know, the entire area where the place is burned.
I don't know.
David.
And to me, it just seems interesting because, you know, like we really never have learned what the third secret of Fatima, because it was 3 different
Let me
secrets.
see if my stream is actually working properly this time. Yours seem to be updating just fine. I mean, the quality went lower, but mine
so it's just been a really big question.
Was just pausing, and I'm not sure if it was an internet cap or if it's because my computer's getting hammered.
A lot of folks have looked at this, you know, when we look at
Is mine pausing?
No, yours is just going low quality.
Mine doesn't have the internet cap problem?
It doesn't seem to.
It really does talk about how
I'm not sure if I am or not, but I'm trying to verify what is
going to look like, you know, the star constellations and the stars.
The deal here, dude.
They're telling us to look at the star map, so it's like all the stars are going to align for like this perfect thing, and you know, this 1,260 days is half of 7 years, and you know, like.
Where's my live video? There you are.
And then war broke out in the heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon.
Alright, yeah, my video seems to be updating good now.
But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. And the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth.
So, like, I mean, do you want to keep talking about this openly like this? I mean, I'm down for that. It's just I'm gonna criticize the hell out of this.
No, go ahead, please. I'm kind of for anything.
All right, cool.
I told Anthony he could stick around for, so I'm gonna grab a beer.
Okay.
Okay.
Freaking ships on its way. You know, like there could be a really big battle that they're gonna lose, and you know, like we're gonna be stuck with them. I mean, I don't know. Just seems super crazy, you know, like all this stuff that's, you know, lining up together that's not even connected to the puzzle. Yet, you know, it gets even nuttier when it says, when I heard a loud voice in the heavens say, now I have come to the salvation and to the power of the kingdom of God and to the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of brothers and sisters who accuses them before our God day and night have been hurled down. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death.
I like these little wax pens.
You heavens,
or whatever they are.
Who will dwell in
it's
them,
pretty cool.
woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil
so yeah, my CPUs, I assume they're Sean's. He's got a few different colors here and stuff. I don't know what they're for.
Now, why does it matter? It's because in the very beginning of the puzzle stream, this is the beginning of this year in January, we got this painting right here.
Oh, yeah.
The painting of William Blake or Eve.
Well, I don't leave anything on his desk, though.
You know, we got Elsa.
At least not that I.
It's got Eve,
not on purpose.
The eavesdropper. We got
Adam
or Alice.
His desk is ending up like mine, where everybody just loads shit onto it, right? It's like, oh, well, that's David will know what to do with it.
Into the lore of this whole thing, and you know, the William Blake puzzle that kind of started this off.
I used to get so pissed.
Give us the whole air of tribulation.
I got over it, but
you know, like wonder.
Now I don't have to worry about it. So now OBS is using like 173% CPU again. I turned off your video because that was pretty high.
The woman who had given birth to the male child, the woman who had given the two
Let me try turning off
the
this.
great eagle so that she might fly to a place prepared for her in the wilderness.
Display capture. Whoa, 357.
Would be taken care of for a time, and after that, out of the serpent's reach. Then from the mouth of the serpent spilled water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth.
Yeah, they're clearly making it biblical.
Out of his mouth.
And that right away for me is a red flag.
At the woman, then went off to wage war.
Well, it's a red flag because yeah, it's a turn off. It is a equally valid way of saying it, I suppose.
So it's like talking about, you know, how the devil is apparently coming, and there's going to be a big war with the angels, and he's going to lose, and when he loses, they're going to get stuck here on the ground.
I grew up with my dad,
you know, it comes back to
telling me that the end times are coming.
About how there's going to be 7 years of tribulation or whatever. You know,
yeah, like that was the only part of the Bible he really cared about was what is it called? Revelations. Yeah, and
you know,
or Revelation or Revelations.
7 signs and wonders.
Can't remember.
Approach. Kinda really does.
But the chapter of the Bible is, or the book,
you know, like
I think is Revelations.
We're seeing signs in the sky. We're getting really, really crazy messages about it. Here's another one that popped up on
yeah,
the chain that seems to be attributed to the same person, and it says,
yeah, like everything is a part of it, you know? You know, the kids on their cell phones, all this shit, you know, and I am way more optimistic about the future, you know that. I don't think that there's an impending doom that absolutely for sure is going to happen. I don't put a lot of faith in that kind of stuff.
You know, another thing that came off of a 4chan board, I mean, it seems like some shit that, seems like some shit that Z would be saying, or you know, somebody associated with Cicada. I don't know, but you know, it's the Rosy Cross tetragram from Roslyn Chapel, I think. So it's like kind of like where we've been here, and it's just, you know, are we getting super biblical? I mean, 7s are everywhere in this thing. You know, 7 signs and the wonders. They're always talking about the lion, and the black sun. The triangle that burns black. I mean, we've gotten pictures of the angel Raphael, the artwork of Scabrin. I mean, they've gone through alchemy and told us that we need to run. You clever little boy. I mean, they told us that we need to become greater than ourselves and start really seeing what this is. Because apparently there's a lot more going on, and I mean, there's still many things that need to be found. Yet it seems that Anna and Graham are would like to speak with
our news has gotten out of
wars
control.
Coming. You know, like, is it going to be a great holy war? Is it going to be a war against men? Is it going to be a war against men and people from the sky? Who knows? You know, like, I thought this was just all the game.
Get out of control.
And I mean, it seems to be all just a game. But,
money.
you know, the summer has started, and we have another timer coming up on.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, we should have not let them be multinational.
So, you know, it seems to be the next thing that's coming up, and somebody was already stopped that was planning on, you know, an assassination attempt on Bastille Day on President Macron. You know, that got stopped.
But I agree with that, but that's not the common view, and most people are getting their news from those sources. They call it news, and it's not news, it's propaganda. It's not mainstream media, it's, you know, mainstream propaganda. It's corporate and government sanctioned propaganda, essentially.
Donate on Patreon, PayPal, whatever. You know, much love and appreciation. Make sure you're excellent to each other. I'll keep doing the best that I can with the puzzles, yo.
Well, and that's exactly what the internet is. You know.
No, I agree. That would be cool. Then you're like, all right, what is happening? Exactly. What is happening with this body with the gunshots? No, those are in the back of his head, not the front. JFK was not shot from the right. You know, so like JFK was shot from the front, not the back. Right?
But that's not any different from what we have now. It really isn't. You know, the technology is different, I get that, and I get that it's more immersive. I'm not saying that it's not good technology, but what I'm saying is that if, like, we have the same thing with cameras, you know, the news can put a camera in a situation, they can move around in 3 dimensions, and we could see what we want to, what we need to see to get the real truth out of that situation. But with VR, the same problem is going to happen. They're not putting the cameras in the right spots. You know, who's going to be standing there with the camera? I get that that's the technology, but who's going to be there fucking holding the camera, putting it there, being there and showing us? It has been invented. There's a camera. We have cameras.
Where like you drive in a little drone that has all the cameras on it, and everyone in the world can see what's happening. You know, like.
But we already have that.
Fly-sized thing, you can do it. You know, who knows? Something that would allow you to. Just,
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
No, we're just saying we know there's challenges, and like I know that we're there, but we're not there in a way that's functional. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's not
I know that. I get all of that. I know the technology better than both of you guys do. So let me finish my sentence. None of that technology is going to change the actual root of the problem. Right, but everyone already has cameras on them all the time. Like, the 360 thing is not going to change that root problem of people not being there and putting their cameras in the spots. The fact that the government is stopping people from doing that. They're taking cameras, they're taking footage, they're putting up barricades and stopping people from being able to report, except for the mainstream media. The mainstream media is paid by them to only show the stuff that they want them to show. You know, the government can come in and say, no, you're not allowed to show that, and they don't. They made it illegal to show any footage, any combat footage from Iraq, back when Bush was president. It's illegal. That's fucking wrong. That's not okay, and that's the problem, not the technology. The technology is not going to do fucking shit. We've got lots of tech, and it hasn't helped at all. We've gone down and down and down. Don't tell me that VR is going to make it go back up. It won't. Yeah. We already have the ability to go instantly. All you're doing is making it more and more immersive, which is great. I love the technology. I'm not dumping on the technology. The same thing is true. You're not going to put cameras around the entire Earth. Fucking rabbit's dying. Is yours freaking out?
Yeah, you can look in whatever direction I can see how that could work, but here's where I apply it, David. The live streams are now. That's tangent. We can touch that and do that right now. So now
right.
I can live stream to Fang, okay? And I couldn't do that before. Now I can live stream stuff.
Yes.
Live stream other people.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and I'm glad the technology is getting better and better. Go ahead.
Well, there is no consumer. There's no like large-scale way for anybody to do a VR version of live coverage. There's no.
YouTube.
Not like.
Yeah.
YouTube Live.
Yes.
Live.
Why not? You know how easy it is to do VR? It's two fucking screens on one. You know what it is.
Why not? But it's not happening.
Yes, it is.
It's not offering right now.
Yes, dude.
I don't know.
It's. You see, it's emerging. It's like machine learning. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're not looking directly at it, you might not see it in your everyday life, but you will start to, and definitely the wave is coming. But well, all I'm saying is the technology has zero impact on the root of the issue. Wait. What are you saying?
You said that the Earth, like, not the gloom and doom, but you think it will get better. But for some reason, you think that technology is not the thing that will make it better.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's people's mentalities. It's people and it's education is the root of the fucking issue.
You don't think that people being able to teleport to Afghanistan?
If that were true, then you would see a rapid increase or a steady increase over many, many years that we've had this technology getting better and better, where people are getting more and more enlightened, right? And the only thing that's changed, we are getting more enlightened now. And it's not technology that's doing it, it's fucking Trump. The fact that we had a president that a whole bunch of people think is a dick or a fucking idiot or a retard.
Wait, I have a point to make. Trump is such a huge issue. I don't want to go because I wanted to make a point about the technology. You were asking, like, why would that make a difference?
Why would...
And that's what's
And that's what's exciting a question to ask.
Yeah, no, it is.
Why would it?
I'm happy to talk about this.
It's a fun question. It's more like this is not that like can we or should we or whatever. Like, what would it add and like what would it mean if independent news could do that? Would that add something? And let's pretend everyone had it and it was like flick of a switch. And I know we're there. Whatever. Okay, but it's not exactly.
To me, it's analogous to the internet as a whole. It's analogous.
It's not. Wait. Snap your fingers and you're there.
It's not. No, it's not. But
that's what I'm saying.
It's,
like, what if
it's always progressively been getting better.
Let's pretend.
Wait.
Okay.
Let me just give you a timeline here, right?
I'm just not interested in that conversation. And it does. What will that add? I don't know. I'm curious about that question.
The technology is a tool, and it's just like any other tool. It in and of itself doesn't make the change. What makes the change is the people using the tools.
Yes.
And so if they're uneducated and they're like, oh, I got a hammer. Like, dude, what are you doing with your hammer? That's not how you use a hammer. You hold it like this, and you beat the fucking nail head until it goes out straight.
Totally about the people. Absolutely about the people. And the right people to me are not the mega conglomerate corporations.
I'm not arguing that.
The right people would be someone like us or something with that kind of technology.
The point that I'm making that I don't think you can argue against is that the technology is not the catalyst for the change in the people. It's not.
But it's like the.
It's just a tool.
I wasn't trying to.
Okay, you've already said that. You're repeating yourself.
No. Well, the thing that is not being taken about. So when you're younger, I do this, but like sometimes you have pen pals. Pen pal will do some money, and you could have action and this person in this other place that you may not think is.
Yeah, well, there's YouTube. I can comment on YouTube videos. Like that's all the same thing to me.
Being able to traverse that distance and actually be immersed in their. It's just like Rosetta Stone.
I'm not disagreeing with you about that. Again, you're trying to make arguments and convince me.
Wait, we're just trying to get excited.
All right, but we need to have a rational conversation and not just argue semantics and not make any rational conclusions.
I was not trying to make an argument. I was counterpoint to what?
Yeah.
Like what I just said, you said, yeah, I'm saying that, like people have to do that, like, and I'm thinking that really what holds back from doing it more often is not immersive.
That's what I'm arguing against you with. I disagree. It is
I
not
agree.
the technology that changes anything.
Yes.
Dude, okay, let me make
got
my full argument. You guys will not let me make a full, complete argument. I have a whole paragraph, and you gotta shut up for a paragraph.
I'm not arguing.
You are right now.
He is. I'm just talking about the concept.
What? Yes, you have. Yeah. This entire conversation, like I'm in the middle of sentences. Right now, you just did it again. Right? Let me finish a sentence, right?
Alright, so I'm gonna every time I.
Alright. You're making me not want to have this conversation at all. Okay, well, let's not talk about that then, because apparently we can't agree on that, which is already a big problem. Because I've had many sentences that I've tried to get out that I couldn't. You know, and you're making arguments that are not even what I'm talking about because it seems like you're not listening to what I'm saying. So let me make a full argument. The argument is that the technology doesn't change anything. It's the people who have to change. And just because they have better technology doesn't make the people any better. All it does is give them more power. And that has happened over and over again. VR is not any different than newspaper or books, the printing press, the internet, video, live streaming, all this stuff keeps happening. And do you think that any of those one things made people better? No, it didn't. That's what I'm saying. It's not the technology that has to do with making. It's not the technology that makes people better. All it does is just gives them more power to do good or evil.
So you're what's that word for end times are near?
Premillennial.
Premillennial?
Well, you don't think the technology is what's going to save us?
Absolutely not.
If we're saved, it's going to be the people.
Yes. Technology can either destroy or
I totally, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Go on.
experience it.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that actually helps it to get there and take a lot of time away from experience. So an initiatic experience or immersion into a culture will change a person. And that is something general technology. Immersion itself will change a person, and that has been.
I disagree with that.
You know, it's interesting how immersion has changed.
I agree that
Changed minds around the world. But now, who's reading that much anymore? I don't know. I listen to. Never mind. I do. I read books.
yeah, I don't think there's less people reading.
You
Definitely.
don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, yeah, I don't want to get
There's
into that because I have
world-changing
no.
books. It's not like, oh, Common Sense was written by Thomas Paine. All of a sudden, we decide we're going to go forward hardcore with this capitalism, like democratic society, and it works. Wait, that was not Thomas Paine. Let's not talk about intellectual subjects.
Why not? It's the most important thing to talk about. So I think it does change, but the thing that I don't agree with is that it changes them for the better necessarily, like or intrinsically. You know, I get where you're going at, right? I get your point, and I don't necessarily disagree with all of it. But I think what you're trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that having that immersive experience of one kind or another, the better, the more immersive, the better, obviously.
Well, what would it change is the question.
The thing that I think you're saying is that you're saying it the more immersive, the more it changes them for the better. Is that would you say that's your argument?
A different culture, geography, basically you're xenophobic.
I disagree.
Why?
I don't. I think it's a specific type of experience, not. Let me reword that. It's a specific series of events in an experience that make the change, not the actual immersiveness of it, the level of immersion. So, like, let's talk about, say, the newspaper, right? You have good newspapers and you got bad newspapers. It's not the fact that it's now I've got newspaper where they have information coming at me from Egypt when I'm on the other side of the world in one day. It's not the speed of it. It's not the greatness of the text. It's the greatness of the words in that publication, right? So the immersiveness to me doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. What matters is what is that experience, and the main question is like how changeable are people? Hang on, I gotta like make it an input source, but I want to get your audio better. At least make sure we're getting your audio. Do you understand my point? That it's.
Yes. I have a response.
Go ahead.
My response is that if the problem kind of flavor of the experience, people are the ones who have experience. Then they.
But
you can't deny it goes hand in hand. Like more people. For like the masses, like a kid in Somalia could VR.
Yes, all theoretical. What I'm saying is the problem is.
That's what we want to talk about. Theoretical.
No.
That's what we want to talk about. I just want to have fun talking about theory.
Okay, well, what I'm trying to say is that.
I know you don't know what fun. I'm just kidding.
You don't what?
You don't know what fun is, but it exists.
Yeah. I don't mean to be so argumentative here, but
No, you have a great point though. I'm learning. So
my point is that the technology is not going to change that root problem. It's not the media really that's the root of the issue. It's the like you were saying earlier, right, that if people had more control over it, then we would have more truth in our media, right? Is that your basic point?
Yeah, it's like all media, not just.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question. I asked you, is this your point? What's your point in general?
No, so that was contingent on what your definition of. I guess I could say.
So like the major media conglomerates is what you were talking about, or?
No, talking about building.
Okay, you're going past an argument, right? I'm trying to reach a consensus about what one person is saying and what another person is saying, us, right now, so that we can move forward.
I think you're bringing up awesome points.
Let him talk.
Like, sorry.
If you are fixating on the definition of media, then I'll that. So I'll say yes to your question, but suspicion of the definition of media.
No, but what you were talking about earlier, I thought, was, you know, our mass mainstream media.
No, I'm saying that will be way with.
Okay, but that's in the future, and that's not what we're talking about right now. What we have right now is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I thought that's what you were talking about.
But
well, that's the problem that we need to fix.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
It's a pain point.
We can't just say, well, this magical technology is going to come and fix everything. There's going to be a new media.
The pain point.
That's been said a million times. There's new medias all the time. That doesn't solve the problem. Let's talk about what the root of the problem is. What do you think the root of the problem is? Is it the technology?
Well, David's trying to get us to the here and now.
Yeah, I want us to be able to, between the three of us, understand what the three of us are all saying, and then we can have rational arguments and move forward and try to understand each other better, even more than that.
Well, I think what I'm talking about is like the challenges of the here and now. You're trying to expand on them.
Yes.
Which is important for that future that you want. If you really want to talk about the future,
let's
talk about right now. How
it's easiest for her to talk about the future, and none of us have to be right because none of us can be. It's the future. We don't know.
Yeah. So if you're going to talk about it like that, you'd have to preface it like.
Yeah, let's talk about, like, here's a situation we have now. What do we think the root of that, what's the problems that we're facing now? And then which way do we see things going from there, right? We can't talk about the future until we all talk about what we think is the current situation.
This is illustrative of how a builder thinks, like a person who makes things. Thinks would jump to, like...
Yeah, you can't build a house until you talk about the foundation you're going to build it on, right?
Yeah. Or the cement.
Not even just not by foundation, right? That's the cement that you lay, but you can't lay down cement without looking at the land. That's part of the foundation too. Like, are you building on rock? Are you building on sand? You know, you can't just go build on a beach without making sure you dig pillars down first into bedrock. Otherwise, you're going to have a huge problem. You could design the best fucking house in the world. If you just build it on sand without thinking about the fact you're building on sand, then the whole thing falls apart. And that's, I think, an analogy for what I'm trying to do.
It's an analogy to the mindset that like where David's coming from is coming from. Like, David's coming from a mind of like, yeah, I'm interested in stuff. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
But I don't want to just waste time on unknowns and theoreticals
but they're important too. Let's consider them too. Because
no, I want to talk about the theoreticals. We can get to that, but first we have to talk about, okay, where do we think we are right now, right?
Yeah.
I'll re-express it, I guess, in other words. So I think that the main issue that we face, let's just talk about in this country for now, because we all at least can relate to that, and I know we all know about it. The main issue that we have here is that people are not taking the control into their hands that they actually have over, they're not taking the responsibility that they have over how good our system is. I'm not pointing my finger at mainstream media and saying they're the root of our problem. That is not the root of the problem.
I will.
That's fine. And we can argue back and forth about that, but...
They've taken the public's trust.
Okay.
I think it's their fault, but people should adapt.
Yeah. Well, so the way I see it is that, like, if you have a company, right, and there's employees in that company, and there's a boss who's in charge of those employees. If a whole bunch of stuff goes wrong, it's, you know, the buck stops at the boss. It's the boss who's the one who's in a major fault, right? He's the, you know, he chose the wrong employees or he didn't oversee them correctly. You know, if yeah, there might be individual people who made individual mistakes, and you can point to those, but the root blameful participant is the boss, right? So what I'm saying is the boss in the situation we're facing in this country is the people, not mainstream media. The mainstream media is not the boss of us. We're the boss of mainstream media. We are the boss of the president of this country, not the other way around. And but that's not the way most people think. They think that the president is the boss of us. They think the mainstream media is the one who, they're responsible for whether or not there's truth in media or not. No, they're not. No. And it was our failing that led to where we are now. The fact that we have companies that are in charge of disseminating our truthful information, and they don't disseminate truthful information because we made a major mistake in how much we allowed them to become corporate, money-interested organizations, right? It's very basic math to know that when you make money be the thing that they care about the most, then the truth of information goes way out the window. Because truthful information doesn't fucking sell. It doesn't sell well. You know what sells well? People getting hurt. People, you know.
What does sell well, though, is when it's not anywhere. When nobody can find it anywhere else, and you're the only source for it, then people will shell out for it then in some way.
And that's what I was saying about Trump, right? And I'm not saying Trump is evil or bad, but there's a perception that he is. And because of that perception, people are waking up now and going, oh shit, stuff is so bad, I gotta wake up, and now we're gonna start to take control again. We are gonna take our responsibility into our hands again, which is how this country was started.
They're so far off. They're so far off, like,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, they point to Trump and they...
Who killed JFK, who are running the country right now. So like, what? That's the deepest corruption in this country.
So why do you think that people have given up that power?
That's a very complicated answer, you know. I mean, there's so many different things. It's been going on for a while. Yeah, I mean, and we were partly to blame for that happening in the first place, right? We allowed the CIA to get to that level of control. We were warned by Eisenhower. We were warned by JFK. We were warned by many, many different people that the CIA was getting out of control. And what happened was, in a way, the technology hurt us. You know, now you've got so much information. You're inundated with so many different things from so many different places that it's like you can't keep up. And so we tend to... Not only can you not keep up, but you've also got that amount of options for things to look at in entertainment. You know, so we've become.
Sorry, it keeps doing that. It keeps losing my mic.
We've become just like couch potatoes.
Cucks.
You know, yeah. Oh no, cuck is the wrong word.
No.
That's a. We are cucks, but it's not.
Why do you say asleep? Because I have a friend, Bible and shit. Not to generalize, but you kind of know more than. And his name is Jeremy. You know Jeremy. No, I don't want to use the last name.
I know Jeremy.
But not him. Yeah, but the point is, you know who I'm talking about. So this guy. Into the Bible and shit. I was telling him how I've been feeling lately and how like everyone's getting it wrong, and like it's just really frustrating to watch it all go down, like on my Facebook, like people I love and care about who are like flipping out about Trump of all things, who like I didn't like him either. I don't like what he says, but there's worse, and there's much worse, and there's like, and it's all been revealed sort of Revelation style. But you said, do you feel like it's like an awakening is what Jeremy called it? Do you feel like you had some kind of awakening, Chris, is what he asked me? And I was,
Because of what?
the other day, and I was venting to him. I was like, when I first started like hanging out with you again, hiatus, I was just like pent up with all of this. Like, I feel like anxious energy about like, oh my God, the world does not understand the depth of what's happening, and like they need to know how corrupt things are, and it's not what you're seeing on CNN and even Fox News or any of those. It's worse, and it's not about Trump. and he's pretty bad, but he's not that bad. I wouldn't even call him bad. Like he's like he's at least an entertainer. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
That's not a good point. That's not a really good point at all. I just mean he's not. He's small potatoes. Like he's very small potatoes to what's going on. So you asked like if more awakened or something, and then my friend Jeremy said, I thought, oh, is that like coming from a biblical perspective? Because I'm just asking you, do you think that's part of your background maybe that is influencing you to use that word?
Yeah.
Like you feel,
I
okay.
think that when you become awakened, you realize the corruption. Sometimes you become partially awakened, then you don't realize that some put towards something that actually is a problem exactly, but the alphabet.
Mm.
I believe that, and even the Bible actually is good for society, good, but it's not actually expressed as it's not actually portrayed. I think that Christianity in America is that not really
Perverse.
read it.
It's perverted.
It's perverted. Yeah, but I think that if a person just put away all those, just get it and read it for themselves, they find that
Yeah.
the actual truth behind it.
I agree with that, and also I
don't just say that.
I say like the try to glean teachings out of it as something that might actually be sacred, which also let Bhagavad Gita, whatever, the Indian one. I've been thinking about that and how like how insightful that could actually be, and you shouldn't count that out either as a Christian. Like it's like, or an atheist or whatever you want to say, science. So I don't believe in anything fifth dimensional whatever. It's just like I've been thinking a lot about the. Maybe I've been just watching too many crazy videos, but like the pineal gland, which is right now on the. Some people think that the Egyptian Eye of Horus is actually the pineal gland. You know the Eye of Horus? Yeah. And so you know what the pineal gland is? So the pineal gland is what we were talking about earlier, David. This is a very interesting conversation. Let's go on this topic, please. Yeah, do it. Just start searching some pineal gland shit. And so some people think now that the pineal gland is a section. What do you call it when you cut a brain in half? A section of the brain. If you section the brain right in half, the shape of the pineal gland is the Eye of Horus, which was just on screen when you took it off. It's a great visual for my point. But anyways, so pineal gland, Eye of Horus. Look that up.
No, I know all about this stuff. Sure.
Well, can I take the remote? I'm still.
Can you what?
Take the remote. I'm still streaming, dog.
No, well, Rabbit's on that.
Yeah, I think that
Alright, fuck it. I'll just. Why don't I just do it on my screen? I'm planning. I've got this CD. All right.
I think we've gotten where.
So I don't.
I don't care about that other track. Let's go back on this.
So you see this shape, David.
Yes.
Your head is covering it on my damn screen.
Is it?
My stream.
Just take that thing off.
Yeah, I will.
Click on it.
Got it. Okay. So. Oh, and my thing's off. Anyways. Right here, the pineal gland. It's shaped like the Eye of Horus, is what people think. And so I think that the Egyptian people value in that gland, which like crazy people online are saying right now that like it connects to the other dimensions, beyond the 3D.
Yeah, and it's not just Egyptian, it's way more than that. Pretty much any major
culture in human history that we can point to has some sort of a significance placed on the pineal gland, or what they call the third eye.
All right, this is a good topic then. Why would you?
I'm not trying to abstain from it at all.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, I know a lot about this.
Please tell me.
You're not like enlightening me to anything yet.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for it. Like, if you want to try to enlighten me, please do.
No, I want you to blow my
I
mind.
say this about that. That's the reason why I'm not for religion, because they.
I'm not
I'm not opposed to religion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm not saying you said I were. But
I think that if you look into stuff with the Bible, it also has those aspects.
absolutely, that's what it does.
And thrown away. Like even the gospel, they align with the 4 fixed points of the zodiac. Taurus, Aquarius, like the bull, Mark, Taurus. No, actually the ram. And then you'll have like the eagle or / scorpion, which is Scorpio. John and Matthew will be lion, which aligns with Leo. And
I know a lot about it. Have you seen the movie called Zeitgeist?
That actually.
Or the multiple movies?
No, exactly.
You've seen them?
Yes.
Okay, so you recognize that the stories in our Judeo-Christian Bible are way predate that Bible.
Yeah.
Way predate.
Absolutely. But I think it's
all very synonymous, or not synonymous. There's a lot of symbology that is analogous to old stories
way back, and it's all very much seems like it's related to astrology type stuff.
Yes.
Right? They're telling the story of how certain planets and sun progressed through. That was basically like their stage of entertainment.
Yes.
You know?
And that's what I'm saying is that like the thing I disagree with plagiarized it's basically the idea of all these religions touch on those things that stand. Those like Islam hit on these different things, and it's not touch with something that all humans are experiencing. Have that experience, it's like holy shit, like have a religious type of towards it. That's what I think that happens with the manifestation and all these. I just want to appreciate out because it's definitely one of the big reasons why.
You don't think what?
I said I don't think we should like speaking of religion now, especially Christianity, because with the Jews, like they were able, for whatever insight they had, to create that existed for thousands of these traditions, and we are able to trace their lineage back. So whatever they found has seeds into retaining the society culture for a fucking long time.
Right, but I wouldn't point to that and say that is a sign of success per se. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm not saying it's definitely a sign of success. Like, why is it to basically believe the same thing for so many
not believe the same thing, but to be able
to do what you said.
To preserve, like, so basically.
Why is that good though?
Because I don't.
It's impressive. I'm not saying it's not impressive. Why?
I'm not saying it's good, but it is good.
It's an endorsement by a lot of people.
That's not what I want, right? But I don't care about legacy, right? I just explain the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
But
The church.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Maybe we could the Bible and the version that was manufactured by the churches to the manufacture of truth by the news. Like it's kind of
that was. I think that's what's going on. It's a bunch of smart people who they had an agenda. Their agenda was to do whatever it was.
But
to preserve legacy, maybe to get people, not all kill each other or whatever it might have been, and they did that, and they're good at that. But I don't. What I don't want to do is say that there's, one religion is more right than any of the others, or that any one of them is definitely right about any one of the different things.
But here's my point. Like,
you can't prove it. So
can I talk ever? God damn
I
it.
was in the middle of, like, I started a sentence.
You get to talk, period. You want to listen to this? It's like 99% David, and like nobody else gets to talk. Jesus. Anyways, So I'd like to say that I forgot my point. So go ahead. I don't care.
No, I'm not talking anymore.
I can't remember.
Well,
I had to say something, dude.
dude, literally, I was in the middle of making my point.
I will say that my isn't necessarily something get down the Bible actually teaches. Well, what they think it teaches. I of course, everyone to what it and it actually gets into stuff.
Do you want to share an example?
Sure, points.
Okay, that's I don't. That doesn't hit me though. Like you're saying that you think that the Freemasons have a more enlightened perspective of what the actual teachings of the Judeo-Christian Bible
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah.
So can you expand on that for me?
Can I make my point? I remembered my point. I remembered my point from earlier, where I was a dick to you, David, because
Can
you
we
were.
get back to this?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So my point was, like the media, you can still take stories from the media. I don't ever watch them anymore. I don't watch cable news. They're all full of shit. But you can still take them and read between the lines. I mean, sometimes. I mean, there's still, like, Trump was still president in their writings. I mean, they didn't lie about that. Like, there's certain facts you can get. So in that way, I can find, like, the Bible and shit to be maybe a historical document and possibly valuable in a way that, like, we can read into it, but not, like, read it verbatim.
I will not throw any of that stuff out. Not read it. Go ahead.
So there are mysteries, I think, still to many people that all right. Well, I guess you're down for reading, but like a lot of people will just like cut it off.
Yeah.
And, like,
I totally get. I'm sorry. Did you have more?
I guess that's my point. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, and I think what's happening a lot with me in this conversation and others is that I am being misinterpreted as saying, like, well, you're talking about the Bible and that stuff's fake, and I don't want to talk about that. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I have the utmost respect for all of the Bibles, all of the teachings, and I believe that they all should be studied equally. None of them should be thrown out. You don't throw out any information. And like if anybody wants to come tell me what their belief is, please, I want to hear it. But then what I want to do then is use my rational mind to analyze each of the arguments as a whole. After having gotten all the information, then I can analyze everything and try to make my based off of that.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
That goes to the point about the Masons are more like the way.
But not equally. The Freemasons are very much a Judeo-Christian organization. Do you disagree with that? I don't know the Freemasons maybe as much as you, but probably not.
In America, I could. In America, but
that's because the American Freemasonry is more English based.
Yeah, because like everything is more
yeah.
Otherwise.
But there definitely exists. That's called the blue lodges. Those are the more Judeo. There's like French. So that.
Yeah, and I guess my point is, like, I would love to be part of an organization that is, not that doesn't say, well, this is the one that we follow. I don't do that. I am an agnostic. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Jew. I'm not any of those things. And I never will be. I'm always going to be agnostic. All of them deserve to be listened to, and studied or
Mhm.
and held to the same
same
fire
fire of,
what can we what can't we prove?
and that's where the final thing that I'll say
with this
is
is
just
that
that
the
the reason why I don't like talking about this stuff is because I've gone down this rabbit hole
Yeah.
many times, and
it leads to we
we
don't
don't
fucking
fucking
know.
We don't know, but here's what's
So-
interesting. The do you know the flood story is not only Christian, but also
absolutely.
every other.
There's pretty much nothing in any of the Bibles that is unique to them,
other than
than names
and time sequences, but they
all
are
allegories, I would call them, that have been passed down through generations
for millennia.
Okay, then that's what I'm interested in. Like, what is everybody really converging on something that actually
That's where
happened,
things get
or
that's
not?
what I want.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at.
I'm sorry.
I think they are, and that's what I'm kind of like getting at.
Yeah.
I was curious.
So which ones are right is the puzzle.
The thing I was curious about, you said
Do you think that somebody can, like
call myself
myself, Christian and that persuaded, still at the same time give all fair share? That's impossible.
I think it's not impossible, but it's definitely like you're already lean.
I think you shouldn't call your.
I call it prescribing, right? It's like if I subscribe to a magazine, right? I'm automatically now being more influenced by that, and so I don't subscribe to any magazines. I don't subscribe to any religions. We'll just kind of float, and I'll get some information from here while I'm over there, and some from over here while I'm over there. But I don't want to. I think by saying that I'm a Christian, that you are automatically putting yourself in a position where you're defensive about it. You're defensive of Christianity as a whole, more so than you are about the other one. Probably, at the very.
And you would say that by not subscribing, are automatically put into a position where you're not biased?
No,
Definitely not.
No.
But I think that it's
just
one step down that path. I think so.
So you would say that it's not in whether you're biased, but
it's like a symptom of the root issue, right? It's a sign.
So would you say that I would be one of those people who are super biased?
I mean, we're all biased in certain ways, but yeah, you obviously you are a Christian, right?
I think when people like call them,
Democrat or Republican,
I think that
Why
that puts themselves in a hole. That puts themselves in a box. That's not. It tells me that you're not interested in investigating anything.
It's a sign, right? Or it doesn't immediately mean for sure. Yeah, you're not in.
I try to call myself anything because everyone changes the definitions of it all. So I'm just gonna call myself Ridley, which is my name, Ridley.
I even brought that up. Okay.
I'm not sure you can afford it. What do you think? Should we give him another one? Another beer? It's your beer.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Be right back.
Actually, yeah.
Oh no,
I'll get
Whatever.
I guess if we, like the balance that I found in it is the balance that I found in the whole thing is, although I also identify as black. I also identify as all these other things, right? We have to stand against particular regimes in their groups. So I stand against Christianity to a certain extent.
But why call yourself those things?
That is because,
Or specifically Christian.
so that would be identify with the path rather than conclusion. So the people who are Christian, so like Jesus was traded, he was betrayed by his own people. I've had experiences in churches where I try to help them betray me. So like
You
identify with that. So it's more of an experiential identification rather than
Don't you think there's a part of it maybe that we're like this might sound a little accusatory, but it's far from that. You know, and I get this idea. Like I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this either, if this is true. But I think that a lot of people choose to be Christian because of popularity.
Absolutely.
Like you're gonna get further ahead in life saying you're Christian, right? And that's part of what bothers me a little bit about any religion, but especially here with Christianity.
I would venture to say, I don't know you, but I would venture to say that I probably hate those things about Christianity even more than you do.
Yeah. Deal with it. I'm like, I just put it over there and I'll have to look at it.
I have to deal with it on a regular basis.
Right. No, I get that. And I like it. I'm not trying to convert you away from that. Or actually, I thought that I didn't say it, but I'm not trying to convince you to do anything. Yeah, I think we're on the same page pretty much at this point. But I do want to talk more about the technology things, which is where we started.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. I'm just checking this here.
Yeah. I released my videos, and my audio should be. I couldn't do the USB mic, but that should be good.
I'll tell you one of the things that I think is a big problem within Christianity is that faith has turned into certainty instead of actually knowing. And knowing includes unknowing.
Well, I have a whole problem with faith. You know, it's like I'm not going to take anything based off faith.
Well, I think that you would if you had the definition that I have of faith, because faith is.
Are you streaming?
Yeah.
Because you're getting this, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting them.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to do that. Well, you should be now. It should be coming through your Discord.
It's not.
Really?
I mean, this is a.
Well, if you unmute, it's going to be what we were saying.
So, like, to me, faith includes knowing and not knowing. The people who don't acknowledge the unknowing, the not knowing, they're not actually practicing faith. So it's like comfortable with what you do know, but then venturing into the unknown. So if you are the person who's like, oh, I know this and I know that, I know everything because the Bible says so, then you're not actually practicing faith. You're just trying to rest on certainty. But part of faith is like, I don't know. Like,
Sounds like David.
That's us talking right now.
huh.
Are you sure? That was the part where we stopped. It is pretty quiet, but that's us talking right now.
Yeah, you didn't hear him.
That was the part where you were talking quietly. If you want to talk louder, that would help.
Well, yeah, the point is, I don't think it's going to.
You plugged in? Go ahead and talk.
The thing I was saying is like there's a level of uncertainty that you have to be comfortable with, not knowing what's the right answer or what's not. And I actually do think that that's taught in Christianity, but within the Bible, but not necessarily taught at churches, because they're like, no, I know this, but the Bible says so. And then you have these instances, like with Abraham and Isaac, where he's supposed to sacrifice his son. I think that's probably the most blatant example of not knowing, because you were told he was told that he's going to have a legacy, and then told to sacrifice his son. It's like unknown. It's like, what the fuck? Like, am I actually hearing that? The God who told me that I'm going to have a legacy, and then hearing that same voice and all of a sudden saying, kill him, that's like the unknown.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I see why you would think that I would think differently, but I don't. I get that. I get all of that. And my problem with faith in your description is that, he still was going to kill his child. He still, instead of making a rational decision based off of his own thoughts and his own reasoning, he decided, okay, you're my dude, and I have to do what you say.
That's one part of the Bible.
If I don't understand it.
And I don't like that part of religion because that to me is a trick that they are using to control the masses. That was not God didn't do that whole thing. I don't think that actually happened.
I'm interested in like maybe that guy was actually not a true teaching. Maybe he's like a teaching of Satan or something that got snuck in to kill the kid. And like,
yeah, and I don't want to. I don't.
And make it okay. And like God told me to. Like
that's all a possibility. But my interpretation, what happened is you've got a bunch of people being people. There was not intervention from the devil or God. I don't think that's what happened.
That's how much question I put in it. That's how much question I put into the Bible. Like I could think like, all right, well,
but do you put, how much question? How much further will you go with that? Will you question the Bible so far as to say
everything?
Can you go as far as to say that maybe
I'm God?
You're not your God. There is no God.
There is no God.
There is all the shit, or at least not one that's like touching our planet ever. Like any of the stories about how he said anything, no, that's bullshit. That's some dude who said that to get other people to think that's what happened. Do you think that is a possibility? All right, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that is. That matters.
If you're not willing to admit that to me, then I can't have a conversation.
The thing with Abraham was that although he was going to kill his kid, which obviously is super questionable at best, he did, at least according to was going to kill his kid. He also said that he was going up to offer to the Lord, and he said, both of us will come back down. So even though he was going to kill his kid, he actually did say that both of them would come back down, which makes it to like, what the hell was going to happen then? Which the book of Hebrews says that he saw like the resurrection, and that he felt that his kid was going to basically come back to life after these, which is crazy, but that's the point of the unknowing, right? Can people come back to life? Now, if you don't believe that people can come back to life, then that is definitely like satanic, so to speak. But if you think that they can, then it's like, holy shit, he saw some shit that is crazy that actually can happen. And so,
yeah, I mean,
what do you think about the Pope's audience?
What?
The Pope's audience hall.
I don't even know.
Yes.
End of the earth here.
Yep.
Can we actually finish the conversation?
No, you made a great point, and I just wanted to change the subject.
Remember, like a second ago when we were talking about technology and we never finished with any of that?
Can I have the remote on Rabbit? Or do you not care?
I don't want to talk about this dude.
What's Rabbit for but rabbit holes? Come on. That's why they built it.
No, it's not. The title on my video, and we were talking about technology. I was interested in that, but somehow led to religion.
I know, but it got so cranky that I'm not into it anymore. Like, I'm just like, prepare.
Now you want to talk about...
Now I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. What do I want to talk about? That spontaneity, David. It comes when it comes. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I'm broken. I'm seriously broken. But here we go. Let's look at this together. Just because this conversation is going where I understand, Okay. Look at this. Have you seen the Pope's Hall?
No.
Okay. The Pope. What does that resemble to you? This was built recently, like past decade or some shit.
What are those things, those statues?
That's Jesus being tortured by a bunch of demons, basically.
What?
Let me see that.
Okay. Or whatever. You can interpret it however you... That's the Pope. That's Jesus. Be sculpture with all these demons grabbing for him. That's where the Pope goes every day. So, like, if Satan is real, which I think is a possibility, I think the Catholic Church is compromised. Let's play.
It
Let's
doesn't
just
matter.
play the.
Like, what's the point?
No, it's called um, an experiment,
A
a
thought
mental
experiment.
thought experiment.
Hmm.
Thought experiment with me.
To what end?
All right, let's me set the parameters. Let's pretend all this God and Jesus and everything stuff is real.
Okay.
Now let's look at this. You're a believing person. All this is real. Okay?
Okay.
And then you see something like this. This is where the Pope goes daily, or whatever, when he addresses people
Uh-huh.
for his TED Talks,
Yes.
or the fuck he
Yep.
does.
That's what it is.
And what is this image of Jesus behind it? It's not on the cross, right? For a Christian, it's pretty odd, right?
Wait, what?
That what I'm getting at is a lot of people that think this, and that this is a satanic worship. It's a serpent. Are you saying,
I'm asking you to repeat what you just said. You said he's off the cross, which is weird. You're saying it's weird.
to have a Christian place,
Catholic.
to have a Catholic church
Uh-huh.
that doesn't depict Christ on a cross?
Yeah, they're Catholics. That's not normal
I'm
at all.
supposed to be Catholic.
Huh?
That's not normal. That's normal for
They have them
Catholics.
on the crucifix.
They do have him on the crucifix, but it's not like it's only allowed to be on the crucifix. They don't. The only depiction of Jesus is on a crucifix. In fact, that to me is weird. You know,
That is weird.
the
I know that
crucifix is the
point.
more weird thing. If you want to talk about weird stuff, but
I think the crucifix isn't weird.
let's say, that doesn't. Yeah, whatever.
I think the crucifix is an axis move.
It's a what?
Axis move. Like, basically, this is something that exists in all religions. Crucifix. If you look at the idea of the center of the world, and every religion has an axis.
But it's weird to have a hall that's shaped like a snake's head when the serpent is definitely associated with, and that's not even when you get a
Okay, so
bird's eye view.
you didn't make the case or the assumption or statement that you're saying that this looks like a serpent. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that. And you can see that from a top-down view as well. There's also an outdoors view where they're above it, and it definitely looks serpent-like. And if you're a Catholic church, I mean, is this just a big blunder? Did they just mess up, or did they plan this building to look like this?
I think the Catholic Church is
Like, is this just a blunder? Someone accidentally made it look like a serpent.
Well, I would say that
Because
it doesn't look like a serpent. No, first of
you
all.
don't think it does?
No.
Okay.
God, no. Have you, dude? There's a subreddit called Paraloidia. Do you know what that is?
It's this.
Yeah. We find faces in everything.
But you notice there's no typical frescoes or of
The
like,
other problem with this image is it's widely skewed. That's a fisheye lens.
okay.
Quite obviously.
There's
So
plenty of others I can click through. I mean, there's his view. There's their view. Serpents on both ends.
okay, so there's two circles, and they kind of that's.
That's what you're
teeth.
facing when you sit in there. It's just weird. Like normal Catholic churches. Have you been to a Catholic church ever?
Dude, you're not understanding the way that this picture is taken. These are on opposite walls. Like that does not actually. If you're sitting in that building, it doesn't look like that.
That's probably more like it, right? This one.
Even that one is skewed. Are they really? I don't think those. The ceiling is curved like that.
You don't think it's curved like
It
that?
doesn't look like that from within. No, I think that's an artifact of.
All right.
Like, let's do a bird's eye. Oh.
Does that resemble anything to you?
No. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look like anything to you.
No, it doesn't. It looks like a fancy building.
All right, new tab.
Search AXIS. MUNDI. That's what I think why it's a. There's different examples of it. the connection between heaven and earth, celestial pole, and examples right here: a vine, a stalk, a smoke of fire, a pillar.
So that's why it would normally be on a cross if you're.
Yeah, like cross is a lighthouse, obviously, staircase, tower.
I also think it could be weird to put them on a cross too. I'm not totally. We can go into that later, but I'm just interested in this. In this thought experiment, David, you are the ability shape like this. It's the Papal Audience Hall.
What am I looking at that is somehow animalistic or serpent-like, or what are you seeing here? Because I think that you are suffering from the bias of someone telling you what it looks like, and now you see that. And that's all you can see. You can't unsee it. You tell me, oh, what do you see here? And I'm telling you, I see a building. That's it. There's no thing that pops out to everybody. Not to me. What is it? Like, what? You tell me what you think you see, because I'm not seeing nothing. I didn't see the serpent until you pointed out. Okay, yeah, there's a couple things that look like teeth. That's. Yeah, I don't think they made this intention. And if they did design it to look like that, does that then mean that they're evil? That they did it as a way to, what? They're trying to enslave people? I think that's already the case, so we don't need to look at the serpent. You know, it's not enslaving people as much as it's just like almost like brainwashing. They want them to give the church money.
I mean, the revelations recently about what the church was doing with kids and stuff. Huh? You know, they're a bunch of pedophiles.
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna.
They're pedophiles.
No, they're not.
Yes, like.
Let's be specific. Let's be specific. There is a rampant pedophile and sexual misconduct problem within the Church of Catholicism. It is widely known. Does that mean that there aren't problems like that in other religions? No, it doesn't. Does it mean that most of them or all of them are that way? No, it doesn't. We know that there's a rampant problem. We should deal with that problem.
Apparently our federal government has that same problem. It's not even religion.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to point to Catholicism and say that they are all pedophiles and they're like that's their whole goal. You know, it's a trope, it's a joke, it's unfortunate for them, it's unfortunate for us, but...
Just so happens it's satanic too.
What, Catholicism?
Pedophilia.
Well, I won't buy into that either.
Alright.
What is the definition of satanic?
Abominations? I don't know.
Yeah, well, what's the definition of an abomination?
What?
Look, it's philosophy, dude. Exactly. What do you consider evil? Yeah, you're the one who brought it up. I don't believe in good or evil.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Liar.
What? I've told you this many times.
You've been good to me. Why?
What do you mean by good?
You've been a good person.
No, you call me an asshole all the time, and I am an asshole. Like
you're a dick a lot. Yeah.
Because I don't have anything that shows me that there's like a line that I can say, okay, well this on this side it's good and on that side it's bad.
Why do you believe in truth?
I don't. That's like a. It's a misleading statement to say that. I don't believe in truth. I'm seeking truth. That's all I care about is the seeking of truth. That's I think all that matters.
You're seeking something that you don't actually believe it is.
I don't need to believe it to seek it, or you're kind of confusing the issue, you know.
I may be, but to me it sounds hard to. It's just you're seeking it. I'm saying.
What is truth? Yeah, you can say what truth is, right? Do you understand what truth is? It's equivocable. You know, I can't equivocably say this is evil and that's not, but I can say whether or not something is truth. Not a specific thing. I can't say that this statement is truth or not, but I can say what truth is. Truth is fact. It's what is actually real. And there's only one actually real thing. There's not two actually real things, there's one. I have never said that. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
Look,
I am putting words in your mouth.
How do you know your eyes are real? How do you know a mirror is real?
Exactly, that's my point.
No, what I'm saying is...
What? It's philosophy.
I was quoting Jaden Smith.
Yeah, he's right.
That's controversial. All right, I'm writing that. My David says Jaden Smith is right about every philosophical statement. I'm putting that on the screen right now. In some text.
You're saying that in reality, although you something real.
No, I didn't say I didn't believe in reality, and I didn't say I did. Those are both statements that you've made that I haven't. So why are you saying that I said those things? That's a problem.
No, I understand.
Right?
That, but I'm trying to remedy it.
Okay.
Because to me, it sounds like if you say something is real, then because.
But I never said anything about any certain thing being real.
Which is what? Yeah, you just said. I believe it's true because.
It's, yeah, okay. It's fact. It's a synonym for fact, is real, right?
Right. So if there's such thing as something.
Okay.
Put it in your mouth.
So yeah, if that's the definition of reality you want to use, then I believe that there is one state of things in any, call it existence, that we're in, right? There might be other existences, right? There might be other multiverses or whatever. And of course we all have our different experiences, but that's, I'm talking about, you know, like physics, right? Physics-wise.
So the question is, why do you...
I don't think that that is a statement I would make, that I believe in reality. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what is the point of that statement?
So would you say that you... I guess you're not... You say real.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing... Do...
That's not what I'm saying. No,
So
I believe...
What is actually participating in real?
It's maybe real is not a word I should have used. But truth, I think, is a word that we can talk about.
So would you say that? Would you say that truth?
I would say that in my definition, there's a synonym of truth for many people, or for most people, is something what is real. You know, that was me trying to expand on my point. But all we need to talk about is truth, right? So let's talk about what is the definition of truth.
Just so you know, this entire past moment, putting Jaden Smith was right over your head.
He was.
So truth. What? So would you say that you believe?
No, I would not make that statement, that I believe in truth. That is a pointless statement.
It might be pointless, but would you say you don't?
No. No, neither of those statements make any sense to me.
What was the part?
So it would make sense to say that I believe that there is one truth. Yes. But not that I believe in truth. I believe there is only one truth. I believe that there is one correct, a correct, I don't know what the right word to use is, there is only one truth. I mean, that's as, I can't really use any words to describe what I'm thinking.
Why do you believe?
Because otherwise it doesn't matter then, I guess. That's my God, is truth. You know?
This truth is matter nor energy.
Not specifically, no. It encompasses all things. Right? It's what is. What actually is, not our interpretation of it, but it's what the real full spectrum is, you know, whether there's multiverses or not, is a truth or not, right? There's valid statements and invalid statements. We might not be able to know whether or not they're valid or invalid with our, you know, mental faculties and deductive reasoning and with the things given to us or available to us. But there is, at the end of the day, like if there is a God, then that God knows what the actual truth is.
in something that is neither matter nor energy.
Why does that matter? What's the point of the question? I don't understand.
Point
I
of
never
the-
said that. Like, I don't know. I said it's neither. It doesn't.
Right.
It's besides all of those things. Like, why?
The reason why I said that is because, to me, that is neither matter nor energy makes me question.
You're saying that again. I believe in something, right? I believe in truth. No, I don't. I don't
No,
believe
you
in
said-
truth. I believe that there is one right. That's it. There's not that's right and that's right when they both conflict. That can't happen. That's a logical fallacy.
Yeah, the law of non-contradiction.
Sure. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you believe.
Whoops.
I believe there is one truth.
Okay, so
Not that I believe in one specific thing that I think that's the truth.
So I will say exactly the way you said. You believe
That there is only one truth. Yeah.
I'll say only that. That there is only one.
Yeah.
This only.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, you can contest.
It's outside of both of those concepts. It's not.
I agree with you.
It doesn't make sense to make that statement.
So what I'm saying is, why do you believe in something that there is only one truth? That is neither matter nor energy. Why do you believe?
I don't know. That's a good question, I guess. But
The reason I point that out is because I believe that truth is supernatural, and that may sound crazy to you, but at the
I
same
don't know
time,
what you mean.
basically it goes above the natural realm, matter and energy, above it. Supernatural, super meaning natural, natural, supernatural. It's above that, and I do believe that it exists, but it is energy, and it exists in both.
It's like to me it's like meditative.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
about the thing. It's not the thing
Exactly.
itself. It's just whether or not it's, you know, it
So,
is
like,
what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
so,
this
like,
is
I was-
aluminum. Is that aluminum? Yes, it's aluminum. That's truth.
Right.
You know, but it's not the can that makes the truth. It's not the aluminum that makes the truth. It's not us that makes the truth. It's just the fact that it is what it is.
Right. And basically, supernatural to me is the same thing as metaphysical. It's like metaphysical, supernatural, whatever way you want to. But we both believe in something that is not natural, but is above the natural. It's something that is not matter nor energy, but exists above those two.
Okay.
And in my perspective, I call that God, right? But you don't call it. And I think that truth is an attribute. That's true. And so, like,
Yeah,
that's-
I don't think we have a real disagreement here. You know, I think we're just
I didn't think
arguing
we
over
did.
semantics.
No, I didn't think that disagreements. Like, I think you can understand where I'm coming from. I do believe. I just apply these things that, like that, like justice and life and love, that are things that exist above the physical
So
realm.
good or evil.
Good
Good or
and
bad.
evil. Yeah, I would say that good is one of those.
So you're willing to say that there is a God. I believe in God, and God knows what's good and evil.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, and I don't believe that. I don't, not in the view of the world that I've had on my own time. Like, I don't. I mean, I know that we as people have not been able to find out what that is. We cannot, like, nobody can put a framework around this and say, okay, this is good and that's evil. You know, even murder. Is murder evil? It's killing people.
I would say murder is evil, but killing someone.
Why is murder evil? And first of all, what is murder?
Murder is the intentional.
Murder was the case that they gave me.
Murder is the intentional, I guess, countering or contradiction of life, which I think is a attribute of. So, we have life,
and that which goes against it.
Okay, wait, so that's not what murder's definition is in our society, first of all, right? The definition of murder is the unlawful taking of life. So, if we have capital punishment in our society, and we kill somebody who murdered people, right, that's not murder to kill them.
Correct.
We don't allow our judicial system to call that murder.
But that fits with my definition.
Purposes, in my opinion.
That fits with my definition, though, because the reason why you would kill someone is because human life is valuable.
So you think that if you know the God that you do believe in, your belief is that God will sanction the killing of some people for to punish them for those types of things that they might have done.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't believe that.
But
yeah. So you're like actually against punishment?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm against the killing of anything.
That took me a while to get to, but I'm that's where I'm at. It's tough to make that call. Like, really do.
Now the thing is, I don't think that it's evil.
In self-defense.
No, I don't think it's evil to kill at all. I don't believe in good or evil. I really don't.
I don't believe that.
Why are you?
I don't believe that. I don't believe in good or evil.
Or do you? I'm curious though.
Just because I don't think that there is good or evil doesn't mean that I'm going to do the things that you think are evil.
Wait, so doesn't make sense. So why are you against capital punishment then?
Because we are using an action to try to accomplish something that it's not accomplishing. First of all, that's immediately a problem, right? The thing I think that we're trying to accomplish with capital punishment, which is, I think, pretty straightforward, is that we don't want people to murder people, right? We don't want people to do certain bad things. We think these things as a society are bad. It all comes down to what is ethics, right? Ethics is what the total of a certain group of people in society think are good or bad. That's ethics. And that's why I know there's no good or bad. I know enough about ethics and morality to know that every single different society has different rules. And so, which one is right? We have no way of knowing. So why do we think that there is a good and evil?
So you would say that capital punishment is to stop murder?
To stop, the things that we think are bad. Like if there are some people who murder people for rape, or murder people for getting divorced, or for whatever it is that they think is so heinous that those people should be extinguished. And what they're doing is they're not really just trying to get rid of that person. What they're really doing, the reason they think that it's okay, is because they think they're setting an example. They're making an example of that person so that other living people won't do that. That's why they kill the person, not to get rid of the bad guy. It's to get the other people to fall in line. That's the real problem. If there is evil, that's evil.
Wait, so it's evil to get people to fall in line?
It's evil to try to control people. It's evil, to take somebody's life. It's not yours. You're taking it. It's not yours. And I don't care what that person did. First, and I can easily say that capital punishment should never be used just by pointing to the fact that we have used it against people who were innocent. We were wrong. And we did it anyway.
Yeah.
So then why don't we kill the people who did that then?
Wait a minute, but...
And when does that end? Well, let's kill everybody. It's a logical problem.
No, I get what you're saying. When you just said that...
If you're like programming a computer, like... Yeah, it would kill everybody.
That's where it leads to. It's an infinite loop that never ends.
It's a good perspective.
So... basically, capital punishment is to make an example of discourage others from murder.
Or whatever it is we don't want them to do, yeah.
And so, what would you say is your evidence to discourage people?
What is my evidence?
Wait, you were claiming that it discourages them or not?
Well, I'm not arguing that it's not a somewhat effective means of stopping people from
like putting up an effigy of like killing somebody and then putting up their skeleton.
Yeah, chop off the heads of people who steal. What is the theft rate?
That would scare you. Yeah, I mean, it would have an impact. It's a shitty way to influence people, I'd say.
And it's not 100% effective. That's for sure.
And it doesn't
so
even
there's
work.
my first piece of evidence is that you're saying that, or not, I'm not saying you're saying, but there are people who are like, well, we have to do it, otherwise it's just going to get rampant. And it's like, look, it's already rampant. It's still rampant. We tried your way. It's still not working. So what if there is a better solution? We need to evolve to the point where we're willing to accept first that there might be a better solution, and second of all, use the scientific method to find out which one actually is better. We don't do that.
Yeah,
You know,
I guess I get where you're.
it certainly is not that. Nobody can argue that.
Time.
I don't think there ever will be, but what we do have is some are better than others. And let's look at the ones that are better than others, right? And I can tell you now that the countries that don't have capital punishment, or the states that don't have capital punishment, guess what? They don't have higher murder rates. The countries that the countries that chop off hands for stealing, they don't have lower theft rates. It's not effective like you might think it is.
This is getting multiple.
Yeah, and it's really hard to be accurate with statistics. It's easy to be wrong. There's a book over here about it.
Yeah. But on a visceral level, do you think that any evil activity you do deserves punishment?
Okay, so I of course have to preface by saying I don't believe in evil, but I get what you're saying, and to that point, can you restate that again?
So do you, in a visual level, like
that you can convince people not to do things by...
No, you personally, that like, if you ever did anything, or one of the just...
So let me try to restate that question to make sure that I understand properly. Are you saying that... Are you asking me that if murder had no punishment, would that affect the way that I live my life?
Not exactly. Basically, because you might not be a person who has a proclivity to murder, but you will have a proclivity to do maybe this or that thing.
Yeah, well, it's all the same thing to me. Let's not talk about murder. Let's talk about theft. What if there was no punishment ever? I knew for a fact that I could take anything I want from anybody, anytime I want, and I would not be punished in any way for that. Would that change the way that I behave? Would I steal more because of that? That's your question, right? Okay, so the answer to that, I believe, and I don't have any way of proving this either way, because we don't live in that universe, right? And I can't find a society that I can go do that in.
Maybe Gangplank, where you don't steal anything.
I do steal stuff from Gangplank. You know?
You heard it live.
Everybody does. I mean, not to different extents at least. Yeah, there's been stuff that I've... Like this knife, dude. This isn't my knife. I found that in the lost and found, and I took it out of it because we don't need to have a knife laying around.
That's a great point.
Right?
Wow. Yeah. But you always calculate...
But been there for a while.
But you notice where the good David comes in? Hey, it's not good to have a knife flying around. So you do have a sense of goodness.
Yeah, and it's not like, I didn't steal it. It's on my person. I bring it in every time I come. And if somebody says, "Hey, it's mine," then I will gladly,
So you believe in agile righteousness?
Huh?
Like agile programming, but like in righteousness situations. Like in the right situation, there is righteousness in morally in a certain action. You took a knife away from what could have been like a kid's camp or some shit.
Right.
I'm
just worried about like some kid being like, "Oh, what's that?" and hurting himself.
And you sort of benefited from it yourself because you used it as a tool for whatever.
Sure.
For knifing.
Yeah.
Whatever you were knifing. I don't know.
I opened a box.
Okay.
It does. I mean, it does obviously affect me, but I don't think that I would steal more if I knew that there was not going to be any punishment for it. No, I don't think I would. In fact, I think that I would, in that society, I would probably end up stealing less.
So you would say that if you that knife, right, even though you have good intentions and the punishment was death, that you would still feel the same way about taking the knife?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
The punishment already is possibility of death to me. Just because it's, you know, it might be cops versus some fucking weirdo doesn't make any difference to me. I think about all the possibilities.
But wait, there is no punishment. You didn't actually commit a crime because you took a knife that had been sitting around.
Okay, so in your society, according to your society's rules, our society's rules right now, there's no justified legal punishment. Correct. But
I agree.
Yeah, but what you're saying is that there's no punishment. That's being more specific about that. Saying that just because there's no legal punishment, I shouldn't think that the cops might come after me, or someone might legally sue me for what I did.
Yes, you're a good person, David. I know you're trying to pretend that doesn't exist, but you're a good guy. There are people who are not.
I know, but I don't think it's the system's rules that dictate whether or not they're that good person. And I think that us having like capital punishment just to go all the way up the deep end with it actually causes us to have more of those types of problems, more stealing, more murder. Because what's happening to me is that we're raised in a society where you have to be afraid of the government, the people who like you can't go after them. Like all of society decided these guys are in charge. And if they kill you, too fucking bad. You know, if they punish you, too fucking bad. There's not much you can do about it. And I think that is causing our society to live in a constant state of fear. And if we had less of that, then we would have a more peaceful society. Look at the Native Americans, right? You know, do you think there was rampant murder within the Native American populations the way that we have it now? I think that it was way less than what we have now. I don't think that they never murdered. I don't think there was never any stealing or murder in those civilizations. There absolutely was. We have evidence of it. But I think that it was definitely more peaceful among people because they all respected each other and nature more. And I would, to just put a capstone on all of this belief, I don't think it's any different for me to take this knife from a human or a person or whatever than it is for me to take a leaf off of a tree. You know, I'm not killing the tree, or to me it doesn't seem like I'm hurting the tree.
There's no crime. Yeah, right.
It's not, I'm not the tree, it's not my fucking leaf, what the fuck am I doing touching the tree? And where this leads to is the fact that, you know what, you can't avoid doing some things that are going to hurt other things, right? While I might think it's bad to kill anything, I've killed flies, I've killed bugs, I've, you know, caused pain to people. I don't think any of those things are good, but I also believe that we don't have full control over all of our actions. We were all born, none of us decided to be born here that we know of, right? We woke up with no memory, and we just have to deal with what the cards we were dealt, right? And like when I know I have a body that's, you know, however many pounds it is, and when I put my foot down on the ground, that there's, you know, amoebas maybe underneath me, and they die when I do that. I can't control.
Every time you scratch your
I don't have control
eyebrow.
over everything. I think the real problem is that with this whole conversation is that I've thought really deeply about all of this stuff.
Much deeper than
I am the philosopher to the core, right?
All right.
I don't want to just
I don't think this conversation is exactly what we're looking for. Let's keep going.
Whoa. Oh, here we go.
Here you get the great example of what you would show that these markings couldn't possibly be original. Oh, couldn't possibly be original.
No, those are very rough.
And here's the proof that Yusuf just showed. An empty cartouche, meaning this was not prepared for anybody. They left it open. Somebody could pay them enough money to have their title put in there.
Right.
So this obviously could not be for somebody. The markings put in much, much later.
Right.
And
So
this
he's
is one
making the
where
argument
Chris
that,
goes
like,
inside and
Egyptian
measures the
stuff
tolerances
is
to
graffiti.
2/10,000ths of an inch. You just feel the surface, flat, perfectly flat. In basalt.
Yeah.
The people that carved that shit in there were, I'm totally changing the subject.
so that's fine.
This is more like it. This is great.
And they're about
Talk about
to.
that stuff, honestly.
I know you're about to masturbate, but
This is the ultimate smoking gun. This cannot be explained by their conventional methods. And at least when they opened this tomb, this area, in December 2012, the head of archaeology of ancient Egypt said to CNN, to
maybe had the
MSNBC,
internet, maybe had
to
like all
Al
this shit.
Jazeera, we don't know how this was done. And that's honest. We appreciate that, his honesty, because Egyptology cannot explain this to any degree.
Well, the idea that it was made for bulls, no matter how special they were, is just ridiculous. It's bull. So this box in particular is amazing because I got to look inside. And the outside, or the inside, is as smooth as the outside. To the hand, it's flat, as in flat as a glass tabletop. And how could that have possibly been achieved when it is at least 6 feet tall, it is at least 10 feet long, and at least 6 feet wide, and at least 15 inches thick, and the lid is solid. It weighs much more than 10 tons. How could they have moved that block of stone from the quarry at Aswan? How could they have shaped it? How could they have brought it down into its niche? And again, there are at least 22 of them here. There are supposedly other chambers beyond in that direction, possibly vertically down as well. What was the function of these incredible stone boxes?
And there's this new skeletons that they find, and I haven't dug much into that new finding, but I also worry about all that stuff. Like,
okay, so the Great Pyramid is right here with the basalt. It's kind of landing here, flat area with the stones, and there are a couple of pieces here. And the interesting thing is that there's a bit of a match up with the stone. So on here, if you look carefully, you can see the little straight lines going through.
Too many assumptions being made all the time. It's not.
Yeah, and then they become dogma.
It's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair to ourselves.
The university system and the publish corrupt in a way that, like,
you get vilified
science
for questioning
advancement
things.
can be made.
You get like if I went
There's
to
politics
academia and said there's no good or evil, they would shit all over me. I'd be ostracized, if not murdered.
Yeah, it would just be like, that guy is not educated.
Yeah, he's a
great class is an example for you. This guy is not educated.
All
right, according to my stupid definition of whatever that is. Whatever.
Fucking bullshit.
It's all bullshit, and I'm about to uncover everything. Right. But I did want to show you that one. Where is it? It's in Indonesia. Pyramids. They don't want to call them pyramids, but they did do a sonar fucking chambers in them that look like fucking man-made, but there is a cover-up going on over there. Take a look. I don't know if this channel is any good at explaining it.
In 1914, archaeologists found an astonishing location in Gunung Padang, Indonesia. Two ancient stone mountains rest in this region, mountains in the form of pyramids. Their size is truly massive. Intrigued by their shape, this 1914 team initiated a series of test digs in the small likelihood that they were man-made. The proposition of these two huge land features actually being pyramids must have been virtually unthinkable to these initial explorers. Their subsequent excavation also concluded that the site was indeed a natural formation. However, fast forward 100 years of technological advances in archaeology, photography, ground-penetrating radar and satellite imaging, and we can now take much deeper looks at locations, gaining far greater insight than was possible a century ago. The archaeological societies are currently in a panic in regards to an expedition which is being undertaken to this very site, over 100 years after its initial discovery and disregardment. What is interesting to note, a detail this team must be aware of, a detail largely suppressed and rarely discussed, is the fact that very ancient monuments rest upon the tops of each mountain, monuments that were later dated at 2,500 years old, and confirmed as artificial megalithic structures. The reason the archaeological community is worrying is due to their possible size. They would dwarf the Great Pyramids of Giza. However, the pyramids in Giza are in a very special location. They in fact rest on the center of the world's land mass. The question would be, Why would Indonesia possess such enormous pyramids? In 2010, geologist Dr. Daminata Wijaja, who earned a doctorate at Caltech, recognized the mountains as possible man-made pyramids and began to explore using ground-penetrating radar, seismic tomography, resistivity survey and other remote sensing techniques, as well as some direct excavations and deep core drilling. The results were immediately intriguing, producing evidence of deeply buried man-made chambers and yielding carbon dates going back as far as 26,000 years. This would make the construction prior to the last ice age. Such ideas are heresy to mainstream archaeologists.
Heresy.
The archaeological establishment in Indonesia banded together against Dr. Nato Wijaja and his team, lobbied the political authorities, agitated locally and succeeded in slowing down, though not completely stopping, the further
like Galileo, man.
Ganang Padang. However, Dr. Nato Wijaja fought back.
You know, everyone suppressed his
lobbying of his own, taking the matter to the president of Indonesia himself. There were further delays to do with elections in Indonesia, but just a couple of months ago, the final obstacles were lifted and Dr.
What's up, dudes? President of Indonesia.
Moved back onto the Ganang Padang site.
Should pop on our
Go
Rabbitcast.
ahead with their work, including
the video.
permission to excavate
Go to
unsealed
rabb.it.
chambers. Although it may not be widely received, this excavation may be the most important currently being undertaken on Earth. Mainstream archaeologists are furious and have been lobbying to get the work stopped. Unfortunately, to no avail. Preliminary excavations have produced results that prove beyond doubt that Ganang Padang is indeed a man-made pyramid of great antiquity. Even the relatively young layers so far excavated, the second artificial columnar rock layer beneath the megalithic site visible on the surface, has yielded dates of 5,200 BC, nearly 3,000 years older than the orthodox dating for the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. They are also firm indications of the original sensing there is much older layers below. In short, it is now evident to all that the site is vastly older than the 2,500 years archaeologists had insisted upon for decades. Even the most hostile are now quietly reframing their assessment of the site and referring to it as a gigantic terrace tomb.
I've been reading through this
part of the biggest
philosophy textbook too, and there's a bunch of the stuff in here I totally disagree with. Like this one section, dude. This is it. You can't even get 10 pages in.
Dude, this has got to be bullshit. Ancient underwater city found in outside Cuba.
There's a whole bunch of ancient underwater facilities.
Cuba, though?
Why
I haven't heard
not?
that. Well, usually it's around Indonesia.
The question is, when is it
very
from?
ancient cities dotted across the oceans
That's
of
also
our
hard to do. People don't
Many of
understand
these
how
cities
carbon dating
all
works.
but forgotten until they're rediscovered.
There has to be
within the
living
modern
tissue
era.
somewhere.
When
That's how it
attempting
works.
to locate these mysterious places, it is beneficial for one to be aware of past sea levels.
Yeah, there's a lot of
course,
problems. That's
can
for
make
sure.
the task of locating these submerged
There's
cities
actually
very
like, you know, people don't realize you can't just carbon date something and be like, oh, that's what year it was, you know? And there's actually entire periods of time where you cannot accurately carbon date in those time periods.
by around 120
Because
meters
of the atomic bomb.
When discussing these finds,
Why is it?
we will,
Like,
on a few exceptions,
obliterated
these specific
it like
regions.
left the residue on the
One
whole
of the more
planet
interesting
that
exceptions to this
affects
rule
that carbon
has
dating
to be
research.
the
I think it's
underwater
weird,
city, which was
bombs. I
discovered
could be wrong. I
just
have
off the coast of Cuba a few
about that
years
a while.
ago. A submerged city.
Are you watching that
700
cast?
meters below the waves. This
Did it
depth,
come out?
of course, being far below that which has experienced a breach over the past 100 or so thousand years. A theory that
There's
the
an
landmass
LD
was
button
resting
down at the
upon
bottom
surface,
and HD.
subsequently being sunk by tectonic activities, was
Or
argued.
click the LD and it'll
Since
turn
its
into an HD.
exploration as a possibility, it has been found to have not been the
Where is
case.
it? It was right over
The
there.
results of this investigation strongly indicating that this city and its accompanying landmass somehow remained under the waves for more than 100,000 years. Greenville Draper of Florida's International University concluded that it was highly unlikely that such a tectonic event could have occurred, quoted as saying, "Nothing of this magnitude has been reported ever before, especially from the Mediterranean."
Yeah, he just popped up
Draper's,
this video.
among many others' analysis, has of course come to conclusions. Conclusions which thankfully appear
Oh, this is the
honest,
underwater city one. The
making
one
them
we were watching
extremely
earlier is about how there might be
Yet, as with other
societies
fields of
of
study in
study.
life,
We think
they
there
are
are
reluctant to reveal the implications of
all
such
these
conclusions.
pyramid
For
stuff.
example, if the research is correct, and judging by the extremely capable
Where
people
are you?
tasked with this undertaking, there is no reason to suspect
Where
it
is
is not, then this submerged city has remained submerged for over 100,000 years. This gives us two possible alternatives. One, that the city predates the arrival of developed man on Earth, according to academically accepted timelines. Or two, it reinforces our ever-growing accusations here at Mystery History of a past here on Earth which is unimaginably more ancient than we have been led to believe. A human society which has flourished
10 rules of philosophy.
on no less than 3 occasions. It
All right.
could, of course, be both. There is a possibility that this ancient city was indeed built submerged under the waves by a once highly advanced civilization of Homo sapiens.
We'll end soon.
The likely scenario, of course, would be that this ancient city was constructed at a time when the Caribbean Sea.
Yes, the 10 rules of philosophy.
Bye. Bye.
Huh?
What are the 10 rules?
Oh god.
Do you really want me to? Who's it by?
It's a philosophy textbook by Louis P. Podman.
Podman.
The 10 rules of philosophy.
Ah, so the.
Yes. Number 1, allow the spirit of wonder to flourish in your breast. What the fuck? That's a rule?
You don't get it, David.
What if you don't have a breast?
Yeah, like what the fuck does that? Okay, and so they explain it. Philosophy begins with deep wonder about the universe and about who we are and where we came from and where we are going. What is life all about? What is this life all about? How the fuck is this a rule of philosophy? Number 2, doubt everything until the evidence convinces you of its truth. That's a great, like
probably like the only
that's a great piece of advice, but how is that a rule of philosophy?
It sounds like the Book of Satan. There are like 10 commandments of Satan.
Yeah. No, the Satanism is not the worship of evil man Satan.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it all sounds good. We'll send you right to hell.
Yeah, like I was, alright, like when I was younger, like I was down for it, like I read about it, but then it's like, then it like got into like magic and shit like that. Nope.
It does?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it.
Even though it's supposed to be a religion about worshiping
yourself. You like.
It's just like masturbate all day. Every day.
Well, just like all the rest of the religions, there's different factions. Like some of them are like, oh no, we don't believe in that stuff, but we believe in this other stuff. And it's like, well, what the fuck is? Why did you put a name on it then? Why don't you just set your rules out and be like, that's what we believe, and stop trying to collect money from your
But it's
followers.
supposedly under that same exact sect.
Yeah.
You know? Like it does have a lot of like subcultures. Agreed. I mean, it's just like any other religion. Decides to take a good idea and then change one rule.
And then the problem is that they all keep using the same name. That would be like if somebody went to next door, they bought next door's building, and they started up a place where you have to pay $50 a month for a desk, and then they called it Gangplank. It's like, dude, that's not fucking Gangplank, it's your own place.
And that's how Galvanize was born.
Right.
Have you been there? I've never been.
I haven't. I really actually want to check. Like, just for the like, I don't know. I kind of like it just because it's another.
Apparently, that's where Katie works.
Yep. I believe so.
Katie
Hurst.
Yeah. She used to be homegirl down here.
Wasn't Galvanize based off of this place?
Pretty much.
I'm not sure what the...
Except they take payment.
Yeah, but like,
in the form
Galvanize does a lot of things different, though. They're not just a wannabe Gangplank, in my opinion. They're not.
Well, according to what I heard, the person who started Galvanize used to work at Gangplank.
That very well.
Saw the business idea.
They at least had been at some point.
No. If you're talking about Katie, then she got hired there because of her experience. But it was definitely influenced. This isn't the only place like this. There's other.
I think he's talking about someone else, not Katie.
Yeah,
either way, it doesn't matter.
Oh, all right.
Well, in conclusion,
the problem would be if they tried to call it Gangplank.
Agree.
You want to start your own thing, and it's an idea based on, like, if I want to make a device that looks like this, and Maybe even call it a mouse. That's fine. Nobody has the patent on mouse, but I couldn't call it an Apple Magic Mouse and have it be something absolutely, not.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to steer the subject. I was just like, oh shit,
not
like
arguing against you.
that. Like, really, according to what I heard though, whoever started Galvanize used to work at Gangplank, looked at the business model, and was like, holy shit, how are you guys like not capitalizing?
Right.
And then basically took a monetize it. So Anchor, you'd have to pay X amount, and apparently they actually have. It's almost like a hotel. It's like the difference between buying 1 or 2 bedroom room and a suite on a monthly basis.
Who told you all of this?
I think it was Cameron there.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I think it was like in the mid.
Yeah. Yep, we all do that, don't we? Except for me.
No, you never ran.
I don't rant.
David is
We've been
free
ranting for
rant.
like the last hour or so.
Hey, that's why I joined the party.
Hell yeah.
Rant. That's what we do with the podcast.
Well, at the very least, we're going to have to take like a 5 to 10 minute recess while the vacuum is running.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
What's up, Jeff? Is it Jeff?
What's going on, Dave?
Long time no see.
I was going to say, I emailed you.
Did you see my reply?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it seems that long. It seems that long.
Yeah,
I hope it hasn't been that long.
How you been?
Good. How about you?
What you guys got going on here?
Right now we're live streaming to the internet. Yep. Talking about religion, philosophy, technology,
bullshit.
Pornography.
Yeah,
pornography. Yep.
No politics?
Oh yeah. A little, basically everything.
We're so beyond that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we're Gangplankers.
Very decisive. Yeah.
It's such an easy thing these days.
Too easy.
Yep.
I'm assuming
there's more to it than that.
What's that?
More to what's going on in the world than Trump.
No, I know, but it's it's a fucked up thing.
There's actually too much focus on him, but
too much focus on him.
I'd say.
Well, he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I
we were
think
talking about it earlier. It's like it's almost pointless to even like point fingers at him and talk to him and talk down about him at all because he's just like the rest of the president. He's a fucking puppet.
He's got the temperament of a spoiled 5-year-old.
Yeah. That's all true. But my point was that it's like, who cares?
I mean, does he? I don't know. All we have is these stories.
He's reality TV. Why are we paying attention to reality TV and not paying attention to what's going on?
Because that's what the public likes.
He's got the nuclear code. I mean,
it's a
distraction. That kind of does alter it a little bit. He's got the nuclear code.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
he does not.
No, he does not.
That's bullshit.
Well,
that's what they want you to believe. I'm just joking. Kind of. But I think that's equally or very well a possibility. Like, and I don't think the president actually has the ability to make it.
Somebody I read somewhere, because I follow politics religiously.
Sure, yeah.
For the last 12 years, because I'm home at the daytime.
Yeah, I'm way more than you are.
So all I know is I read and I don't know who it was, that Obama's like one of the 2,500 smartest people in the United States.
Obama?
That's what somebody said. Somebody, I can't remember.
2,500 smartest?
Yeah, that's what he said. I mean, somebody that I can't remember who it was.
Okay.
It just so happens there's a club and we all know each other. There's a club, we all know each other. He didn't quite make it. He was close.
Who?
Trump.
Obama. The 2,500, the top 2,500 smartest. We know each other. David's one of them. David's number 6. And we all chose who's in it, and we decided who that is.
Nobody could ever argue that
Obama was close.
He was very eloquent and well
he's very intelligent. You got to be fucking smart to have a name like Barack Hussein Obama get elected president of the United States. So, exactly.
It's almost like you have to have a bunch of people or organizations behind you pushing you into that position.
That doesn't hurt, But I mean, you got to be smart to navigate that thing. And nobody, like I said, you can. Right? I mean, you can argue.
To me, the argument is.
No, he's smart.
That's true.
But they have no credibility. What I'm saying, there's no legitimate claim where somebody could say this guy's stupid or nobody could do
you might
that.
disagree with his politics, but he's a dummy.
Exactly.
He's well spoken. He's clean cut.
Right. And so, but with Trump, I mean, it's
Trump. Everyone, like anyone who is not an avid follower, doing whatever that may be, like in reality, like I don't even understand these words. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is that like everyone thinks he's basically a kid on a fucking kid with an eyeglass on an iPhone.
Well, the biggest problem with him, and there's a million of them, is he's a pathological liar. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, they
show
the
reason you can't argue against that.
Exactly. They want to make it sound like the media says it. Like,
man.
It's not like the media.
But that doesn't mean he's not smart.
Well, wait a second. But the guy's a pathological. Like, he says, I never met Putin. Then he's on TV saying I met him once. You know, they go back and forth.
Get off my stream, normies.
So, but
fuck Chris.
If you had a business partner or a friend or a girlfriend or a wife or anybody, and the first thing somebody said is they're a pathological liar, that pretty much 86 it for me. You know, it's like you and I were going to go into business together. So he said, Dave's he's a pathological liar. I probably really have reservations about going into
You should have reservations, especially if it's someone you trust.
Well, if you're going to have a, you know what I'm saying? United States pathological liar. You know what I mean? And like all politicians,
I'm sorry. I have to stop you right there and say, like, I will not talk bad about Trump. I won't.
Why is that?
Because I don't know the guy, first of all. Like, and if you gave me the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with him, I'd take it. I would totally take it. I'd love to sit down and talk to him, and I think he's way smarter than most people give him credit for. Way smarter. I have been doing a lot of my own, political type stuff.
His ability to, he's a lifelong Democrat that hijacked the Republican Party, got elected president. That's brilliant. That's not smart. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But he did it. He did it through insulting everybody, through lying. You know,
and other things, he's winning the popularity contest. He's gaming the system that we have right now, and I don't blame him for the problem with the system. I actually blame all of us. I think we're all the problem. I truly believe that. I've said that many times in this last conversation. I think that we are at fault for the, not just us five, but
I echo Bill Maher. We live in a stupid country.
Right.
That's the problem.
We need to wake the fuck up. We need to take back control. We are we.
But when Bill Maher says that,
we have your launch codes. He doesn't.
But what I'm saying, when Bill Maher says that, and when I say that, it's like we live in a stupid country. But I'm not saying everybody's stupid.
No,
there's some really smart people. And then there's people that are dumb as rocks that.
There's a lot of problems.
So
we can talk about that for ages.
I know, but I mean that is a problem when somebody's a pathological liar. You know.
I don't agree with his mentality. I don't agree with his methodology, but I definitely won't say that he's stupid.
Well, I'm not saying he's stupid. I never said. Did I say that?
He talks like a kid.
No, I thought it was a little bit.
Oh, he's a con artist.
And most people would probably.
I mean, on the campaign, I'm going to give you health care. It's better than you have. It's going to be cheaper, and I'm going to have it on day one. Then he gets in office. Well, health care is more complicated than I ever thought. I mean, he promised everything to everybody.
The other thing you got to do is, like, I learned this about with Clinton. They
what?
With Clinton, yeah. And I think Clinton was way
Bill
specifically, but Hillary does the same thing.
Yeah.
And they take their words very wisely. And I think Trump does as well too. He never really says anything that is absolutely a certainty, or he never makes any like absolute claim. He just talks in a sort of a circle. And it wasn't a complete sentence. So then when the media comes back and says, well, you said this, it's like, wait. Read exactly verbatim what he said. He didn't say what you're saying he said. He said something that didn't even make sense. But you're putting words in his mouth in a way. And I know that.
Well, yeah, you can't argue logically against him because
he doesn't have a logical statement he ever said. And that's, I think, part of his genius. It really is.
I agree. Like I said, he was brilliant. He got elected. But yeah, but I'm never. Nobody said he's not stupid. No. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
And I used to think way worse about him. I used to be like, this guy's horrible. We gotta not let this happen. But
what has made you think better about him?
Going back and actually researching
deeper
about
into how corrupt everything else is, way beyond him and way worse and way more threatening to your life. Yeah.
That is the big thing.
But that's a long story.
Any president's a distraction. We should not be focusing on the president. If we don't know who all of the members of Congress are and the House are, we're dumb. And I don't. I'm dumb. You know, that's who we should be caring about, is all those people. We should be writing them. We should be telling them. We should know all the laws that are coming through. Who fucking cares what Trump tweeted? Who fucking cares? The mainstream media has brainwashed us into caring about that shit. I don't. It doesn't matter.
At Gangplank, we have a saying: doing over saying. So saying isn't worth very much over here. Doing is different.
I mean, I'm not nobody's arguing.
Like if someone wins a Nobel Prize for peace, and they start a drone program and expand a torture program, maybe there's something wrong with the mainstream narrative, you know? Maybe the guy who won Barack Obama won and expanded wars and created a drone program that's unprecedented.
Right.
And he won a peace prize because it's a psyop. It's trying to get in your head. Peaceful guy. He fucking starts wars. He destroyed Libya.
What war did he start?
Libya.
I mean, yeah, Obama. You're talking about Obama, right?
Jeez. People are dying. Kids are dying. It's sick. It's sick, and it's not covered because it's illegal to cover it thanks to Bush. And it gets worse and worse every year. Starting with JFK when the CIA fucking killed him. Sorry. They killed him. Not the CIA, but the rogue element of the CIA.
That start wars and all this other stuff that are beyond us.
Absolutely,
Right. Nobody's arguing that. Okay. But
we're all.
What you have to do to cure it is shine a light on it, and then we win. People, we have the internet now and shit like this. Shine a light on it, and it ends. The cockroaches will not stay. They can't. We know the truth. Nothing.
Let me tell you a quick story. I want to hear a quick story. This story will sum up what's fucked up with this country. Okay? I've been writing a prisoner. Actually, I'm dating a prisoner. And
prison system's fucked up. I'm gonna go take a piss.
This is class. Listen, it's real quick. I'll make it quick. But if somebody says, give me an example why this country's so fucked up. This girl's in prison. She's 21 years old. She got a life sentence for murder. She was doing heroin with her friends, and her friend died of an overdose.
Wow.
So she got convicted of murder. First degree murder. No, first degree murder. No, first degree. I saw the newspaper today in West Virginia.
Did she inject the needle?
No.
Was
she bought the heroin to be like me and you, we're friends, going to the hotel room, right? We bought the heroin. He died of an overdose. She got convicted of first degree murder. She's up for parole in 2 years. She'll be 35. She'll spend 15 years in prison. First degree, not manslaughter, not involuntary, first degree murder because of that. This is in West Virginia. I saw Chris Hayes with Bernie Sanders at a town hall. There's a pharmacy in Kermit, West Virginia, a town of 400 people that have sold 7 million opioids in 2 years. 7 million. They had cars coming in from out of state. It was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So here's the bottom line. This girl, she's dumb, young and dumb. Dumb kid. Doing heroin. How many millions of dumb kids are doing heroin?
I'm with you on that.
They sent her to jail. First degree murder. She'll be a convicted murderer the rest of her life after spending 15 years. She's got 2 kids at 21. And now the guy that owns that pharmacy eventually went to jail. But these pharmaceutical companies, these doctors, these pharmacists made billions.
I know, you're preaching to the choir, man.
Billions getting people hooked on them. And basically, they haven't had jack shit happen to them. Is that a good example of what's fucked up in this country? This girl, first degree murder.
No, I get it.
Now, she could have gone to jail, in my opinion, possession or something. She shouldn't have got off scot-free. First degree murder, 15 to life, because her friend overdosed. And yet, in West Virginia, where opioids are like M&Ms. I mean, that's all. That tells you, in a nutshell, I think, in a capsule, is this fucking country. It's all about money. It's all about power, and they don't give a fuck. So, right? That's a pretty good example, right?
Keeping control that they've got, you know, and getting as much more as they can. It's all going to come toppling back down on them, though. You know, just look at the history of revolutions. When does revolution happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
When you have a huge wage distribution gap. Yeah, and when people start going hungry. Have you seen what's going on in Venezuela? I know you've seen what's going on in Venezuela right now. No? Dude. That is a symptom of the problem of this country. They have been, for the last like 4 months now, hundreds of thousands of people in the street protesting. 4 fucking months. And they're all like starving to death. They're eating cats and dogs in the streets right now. The government and them are in this epic battle royale. Go home and search Venezuela. Holy fucking shit. They are a model of what we're about to do. Things keep going the way we're going. And does our mainstream media show any of that? No.
Back with the healthcare thing, one of these guys, a prime minister in Britain or somebody said something to the effect that American people are kind of stupid because if you're a billionaire or you're poor, you each get one vote. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? So people have, there's a power to the people, or there's a power in the numbers of, you know what I'm saying? So
that's what I was saying. We are the ones who control.
Right?
No, I fucking fault.
No, I agree.
The president doesn't have the.
I think these rich people are scared shitless that there's going to be a revolution, right?
Yeah. If President Trump hits a button that says launch a nuke, there's not a computer that launches the nuke. There's a guy in a room. There's actually multiple guys. They have a multiple key system, right? The funny thing is, this is kind of unrelated to the whole argument. To end on this.
Yeah.
For like I think 20 years or more, the actual console where you enter the codes for the nuclear weapon was like 20 zeros.
Was what?
It was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. For many years, yeah. Nobody touched it. Nobody needed to care about it.
I don't know anything about.
We don't need to worry about who has the nuclear launch code. It's a waste of our time talking about that stuff. We should be talking about Venezuela and how we're about to do the same thing here, and how we're going to do it better. We don't have to have violence in order for us to government and make things the way that it should be. All we need to do is stop letting them do what they're fucking doing. You know.
So I mean, you're saying you think this is going to happen here?
It's inevitable if it keeps going the way we're going. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. Actually, the funny thing is, they preempted us. What do you think Occupy Wall Street was? Do you think that was a bunch of kids who were fed up and decided they were going to try to fix the system? No.
Who was it?
It was the fucking CIA, man. They're preempted. They knew we were about to do it, and so what do? They go, oh, well, we'll just say that we're the ones starting the thing, and then all the people who would have normally gone to a real rally, they go to this fake thing, and the leaders of that fake thing lead them astray. They don't have any actual goals. They don't have any agenda. They go and they loot things to make them look like fucking morons, which they successfully did.
How do you
know
what
happened with Occupy Wall?
How do you know?
Because look at it, it's a pattern. They keep doing it.
Occupy Wall Street was organic to a degree. I'm sure CIA elements, just like we get in every.
Okay, so a Canadian magazine started a massive revolt in America.
What Canadian magazine? What's that?
Adbusters.
Huh?
Look at the history of the Occupy Wall Street. It was Adbusters.
I don't know the whole fucking thing. I know a little bit about it.
The Canadian magazine posted an article. Hey, we should go to Wall Street and make the bankers pay for what they did.
To me, I thought you had a chance. All right.
There's a lot of different origin stories. Suss out the truth some other time. But I think I'm gonna.
Somebody saying, "Hey, let's go stand in Wall Street. Let's go stand in the park and make Wall Street pay." It was an advertisement, not an advertisement, article in a magazine called Adbusters. Go to the Wikipedia article for Occupy Wall Street.
What the hell would have the standing in this done?
Nothing. You have to have goals. You have to have a plan, right? If you want to affect change, you didn't just go stand in the street. We're not happy.
Okay.
Fuck off. You're not happy. Like, what's the plan? I don't want to hear that you're unhappy unless you got some idea of what to do better.
So what are you suggesting people do, or what do you think is going to happen to where people are going to?
It's really easy for us to identify who's the problem. It's not even that many people.
Who is it?
Like, I'm talking
about 8,000.
Yeah, it's a most. There's really 100.
And there's 300 million plus of us.
Business people,
the people who have literally it's not 1% who own 90%. You're talking like 0.001%.
I mean, like the Koch brothers and people like that.
Oh, it's billionaires. Exactly. It's Jeff who owns a private island. It's like the Clintons.
People who literally they own everything. They could pay off all of the debt.
Right.
But they don't want to do that. They want to have more jets. They want to have they want to eat $2,000 meals every day.
Yeah, that's what's nauseating. How much money do these fucking people make?
Yeah,
right?
more than they have now.
If they see any value in the world they don't have,
it's our
greed
fault.
is insatiable. It never ends. Once you get whatever you want more.
We're the ones in charge. If a boss is in charge of 15 employees, and the company does all this bad shit, who is the one who's to blame, like, ultimately? Yeah, some employees might have made bad decisions, but there's one guy who is in charge of telling them what to do and deciding who was an employee. We are those people. We are the boss. We elect them. We can't blame them. We get to choose all of that. And it's not even about elections. It's about we outnumber them.
Right. That's what that.
If we don't want them to launch nuclear bombs, guess what?
Just get the truth out. The people will do it.
Not let them do it. This is what happened in France with the French Revolution. Unfortunately, they went a little bit violent, which that was a false flag. All of the violence of the revolution could easily be a false flag. But there are
once people,
they just surrounded the houses of the rich.
Right.
These people are like dying in the streets. Starvation. We can't. We're dying. We're not going to put up with it. We can't put up with it, or we're just going to die. So it's either go up and just stop these people from being able to rule over us, and you can usually do that.
You think something like that's going to happen?
All we have is those stories, but I don't think it needs to happen. I think all that needs to happen here is people need to speak openly about things, exercise your First Amendment right, and that will clear everything up. This stuff can't live, like the cockroaches can't live in the lights. If we just shine the lights, that's it. You don't have to get violent.
I'm not talking about violence.
Truth.
Violence is not the answer.
Truth is the answer.
Violence just makes you look like a fucking dumb.
Yeah,
you look like a punk.
people are
Nobody
so
follows
hard.
it.
So how is this supposed to happen non-violently? I'm not really.
Well, you could start things like stream.
Standing outside your house and not letting you leave. What are you gonna do? Your
Get your voice out.
Your grenade. None of that's gonna work. It's a million fucking people.
Right.
You're done. And if they all stand outside your house and decide you're not allowed to get groceries, you're gonna starve to death. End of discussion. And if you decide that you're not gonna, allow them to tell you that you're
David,
not allowed to
can I talk for like one? Just want to say that like how it's going to end is that if people know the truth and the real truth is spread, then the false narrative that most people actually believe won't influence their decisions in life. Someone will be like, no, I won't work for that guy because he's clearly a criminal or whatever when the truth comes out.
Yes.
People, when they know better, they just won't. They'll be like, nah, I'm not going to do what you ask because I know better and so does everybody else. Everyone in every organization, there's people running these organizations like police and everything. If they know the truth, you got to trust them. They would do the right thing. So I think if people know the truth, things change. People don't know the truth. There's a false narrative that's dominant, which is making you attack Trump. And
well, that's not making me, no, I mean,
yeah, it's front page every fucking day, Trump, because they want you to be mad at him, right? But there's a bigger picture.
Well, I'm not. Problem in civilization is Donald Trump and everything was fine before he got it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he's a clown.
I think the dominant problem in Trump at all.
Not Donald Trump at all.
Not one bit. There's a deep, fucked up part of America that's not been talked about.
He's been in office so he didn't create this problem, right? I'm not saying he created the problem at all. I never said that. I never said life was great until Donald Trump got in office and he fucked everything up and formed. I never said that at all.
I'm saying though that
I'm just saying
the powers that be actually right now see Donald Trump as an enemy. So it's like the enemy of my enemy. I'm not like endorsing Trump, and I don't like what he says about like women and shit and grabbing pussies or whatever. Right. But in the end, that those are words, and then there's action. So the actions of Trump versus like the actions of the past couple presidents, where they bomb a bunch of countries, they expand torture programs and disgusting shit, and like now there's hints at things like sex trafficking that the Secretary of State knew about and stuff.
It's been going on for decades, that kind of shit. The wars, Vietnam, and then this Iraq war.
Yeah, and those are manufactured from like Kissinger and people who want these.
That's a military-industrial complex.
Military-industrial complex who they want these oil pipelines. They want a pipeline built through Syria. So how are we going to do it? Let's gas some kids and put the footage on in America, and then everyone's going to be brainwashed. Yeah, let's go kill people to build this. this pipeline.
There's
But yeah,
a motive. The motive is for them to make money. Right. And what they do is they manufacture a war. Right. This is the game plan of the super rich.
ISIS, Al Qaeda, all that is pretty much. This is my own opinion, but like ISIS and Al Qaeda and all that, there's a rogue element of the CIA, which is run by the billionaires of the world, who create problems to solve them with the military-industrial complex, such as ISIS, which never existed. People, if you really think, like, Islamic terror doesn't exist. Well, Islamic terror is just a bunch of bullshit, because if you think that people who practice Islam don't want to just go sell cell phones or, like, live a normal life like anybody else, don't want to blow themselves up, like, why are they, out of all, blowing themselves up or, like, shooting people up at a gay bar or, like, flying planes into a building? Why is it just Islam? It's a narrative. It's part of a media narrative. They control the media. They're telling you a story about this, so you're like, yeah, well, let's attack our Arabs.
So
because
9/11 wasn't
no,
terror. Well,
nah,
I'm asking a question.
no, it wasn't.
Was it? I'm not arguing with you. I'm asking a question.
I'm telling you,
That's the question.
it's the military-industrial.
So, do we believe that it was Al Qaeda responsible for the 9/11 attack?
That's what I believe. That's what I
Okay,
believe.
so now the question: who created Al Qaeda? Where did they come from?
Right, Bin Laden was the head of.
You know about the Bush?
You know how they're always funded by
I
the
know.
trained by the CIA. It's like almost like they're the CIA or something.
We supported
You
them
know?
at one point, right? And then we turned against them. Something about
Way more than support. I'm talking billions of dollars.
Right.
That's how they got rich.
And we sided with them against the Soviets.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's funny because we did it to both sides. That's what they do. The super rich have been doing this for probably millennia.
Right.
What they do is they manufacture a war, then they fund both sides, and they always come out ahead.
Henry Ford.
They always make money because war means money.
Right.
Henry Ford sued the U.S. government during World War II. Didn't you know this? Because they bombed Henry Ford tanks in Germany. German tanks who were killing Americans. He sued and won his case that they destroyed his property. His case. This story has been going on for a military-industrial complex.
Well, the Iraq War
People
was
are
a
making
perfect
money,
example.
and we're all getting played.
Hussein had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right.
ISIS is the same exact thing.
But I mean, that was a perfect. Cheney and Wolfowitz and all these neocons were just chomping at the bit to go into war with Iraq, and Bin Laden, 9/11 gave him a perfect excuse. That's as clear to a third grader. That whole situation.
It's not about protecting country. It's about making money.
Right. That was front and center. That was front and center with that fucking war. You know.
And they're going to keep doing it to us until we wake up and realize what the fuck.
All you have to do is shine a light on it.
But
That's
then
how you
got
win. You don't have to get violent.
The comedian, he's a right-wing commentator and all that. He's on
He's
Bill
the one
O'Reilly.
who has that song "Asshole."
Well, but he's on Bill O'Reilly. Do you know what his famous about that was? About the war in Iraq? Well, his famous comment, because I heard it on the radio, it was like, well, yeah, it wasn't Hussein, it wasn't Iraq that attacked us, but we're going to get these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Basically like saying, you live in this neighborhood and you get attacked by a Mexican. You don't know which Mexican attacked you, so you take out some other Mexicans, just can't fuck with. Well, what the fuck sense does that make? What the fuck sense does that make?
That's my point. Is that is all an illusion. It wasn't about security. It never was. It was about making money.
No, I agree. I agree with that 100%.
They have starting a fucking war.
Right.
And how do you start a war? Get two people to be mad at each other. Give them both a whole bunch of fucking guns.
No, I agree. That
I just got trolled like a mother.
Yep.
Sorry, I just totally threw a red.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. We're all getting trolled by this fucking establishment of rich bankers.
Yeah.
Trillions of
Bankers,
dollars,
man.
and they keep making stupidity. Infuriating.
Sick.
Wasting the time talking about how Trump is. Fucking, I don't care about Trump, dude.
I know, and he's
guy's
literally
daughter.
the daily on the fucking.
Yeah, it's getting stupid.
But like, okay. So far, it seems like all the major gays around, of course, religion, the law next off, and then of course, what the fuck is it? The park. Those seem to be enforcing no bank. So it seems like those seems to be like the biggest problems right now that seem to cause a plethora of problems.
Yeah.
So then it's just like other than violence, like.
But it's always been ugly. Just shining a light on stuff that's it. Just like tell the truth and just be, don't be a coward, but don't be a dick. But like,
you use violence, you lose. You know who Gandhi is, right?
Yes, I understand.
You know what he accomplished?
Yes, I'm not saying that violence is the only way. I'm saying
it's just not the way. We lose in violence.
Because of people are stupid like that.
Yes.
Let's find.
I'm not saying that yet.
What is your suggestions and ultimate? Half of it. Right. What is happening? What happens? If he's a bad president, then the scapegoat and blame everything on him. If he's a good president, basically the Christian community has a Messiah come, whoever the president is. Thus, they are identifying him as who is supposed to be the hero, which means that they are not rightly positioning their faith. They're saying that this.
Okay, so you said how you solve it.
So the problem is solved by confronting the just by saying, "Why are you putting what the confrontation?"
Go ahead and finish. Like they aren't. You're not going to convince them. There's a culprit, and we need to stop the culprit. They're not the culprit. They're just dumb and they're idiots. And we don't need them. There's a mass of people. They're not in the majority. Those people are minorities.
That's half of the Republican and Democrat.
No, I'm sorry, but all Republicans.
You don't think that the Republican kills to the Christian?
Yes, they do. But those idiots are a majority of our population or not.
No, I'm not saying the majority, but Republican.
Like where are those people?
The Republican, but I'm saying like
those Christian, idiots who idolize Trump. Where are those people? I have none of them. They're not the majority. It's a farce. You're thinking that the numbers in the election are true. They're not. There's not a majority of people. Look at election results. He didn't even win the majority of the actual populist vote. He had to cheat to get as far as he got.
But you're arguing that I'm have 30.
Yeah, we don't need that. If I have 70% of the people standing in front of Trump's door, and I say, fuck off,
I don't need those 30.
Why am I going to convince 30% of idiots? You can convince them anyway.
Do you not think because 30% of the population are like
it doesn't matter if I can or can't.
You have a good shot.
Yeah. A, you can't, and why are you going to try the hard thing?
Why not take the easy route?
David, I'm going to end the stream. Stream is the end of the night. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being on the show. And I know nobody watched it, but hey, we'll try to do this and talk about all the important things.
So you say it's hard to do? It's
Goodbye.
It's harder to convince 30%. You're trying to convince
rational. It's easier to convince.
They're not rational, dude.
Exactly. That's why you just all you do. This is how you convince. Because you're saying it's hard. You're like, I love the Bible. The Bible is great. I love Jesus. And I go to church every day. That's what you fucking do. I know you're saying that, like, oh, it's rational.
Okay, how do you convince a non-rational person?
I just told you. I love the Bible. I love Jesus. Like, that's what you fucking do.
What, you pretend to be like that?
Yes.
That's not. I'm sorry, that's way out of left field. Waste your time.
Wavelengths. Like there's people like that.
I know there are those people. We're having a semantic argument about something else entirely.
What I'm saying is that there's a part that's acceptable to the idealists, which is that you trick the idiots into doing what's right, and you trick them by appealing to their stupidity, and you just go, I love the Bible, I love Jesus, I love.
So lie.
You're saying that you have to lie to them. I'm sorry, but that's violent. Same thing as violence. What? You're no better than the media. I'm going to use.
I'm fine with that.
Speech is the same as violence.
And all of that is moot. All of that is moot. Because again, I can solve a problem in way less steps without having to even talk to someone.
I love Jesus.
I don't care if it's easy. I can do it in less steps, and so I'm gonna do that. It's easier.
Why is it still playing on?
I'm saying that there's a
Well, I am.
You know that Hillary went to a fucking Breakfast Club, which is a hip hop black like news kind of thing or whatever, and she was like, you know, one thing I don't tell people, I care